Liberty Center, Tigers hit the field. Orange and black, the power to wield. Claws out, fangs sharp, hearts full of pride. On this gridiron, we ain't trying to hide. Quarterback's got an arm like a cannon. Linebacker strike, you don't know what happened. Running back cuts, defenders in the rear. Fans in the stands roar loud and clear. Hit Liberty, run that score high. Orange and black make them wonder why. Hit Liberty, show them what we got. Tigers on the prowl, we can't be stopped. Coach got the plays, got the strategy. Defense like a wall, pure energy. Special teams turning the tide fast. Every single play makes the moment last. Cheerleaders hype, crowd in a frenzy. Marching band plays, beats dropping heavy. Sidelines electric, can't fake that zeal. Tigers on the hunt, it's all so real. Hit Liberty, run that score high. Orange and black make them wonder why. Hit Liberty, show them what we got. Tigers on the prowl, we can't be stopped.
Greetings and welcome to Week 12 of On the 50 with Coach Casey Moeller. I'm Mark Blime, not Scott Barrett. We're about the same size on here. I was noticing that usually Barrett looks really big. Yeah, Scott's on the road doing some things, but I think we wanted to make sure that we sat down and talked to you this week. It was interesting last week. People knowing we weren't playing said, hey, where's your Casey interview? And I was like, what would you like us to talk about? The bye week? Well, we will talk a little bit about that. But let's start off, Coach, with talking about the Archbold game, which was actually now 2 full weeks ago and then some. And that game was important. I know you will look at them all as just the next game and the next game and next game. But that was for a league title, for a 10-win season, no defeats. And Archbold's always an interesting place for us to play in a rivalry, I would say, in the league. I think the last league titles have either been shared or outright won by both teams.
Yeah, it's a game where you know we're going to have to play well because they're well coached. They have a very rich tradition, and like I said, there was a lot on the line. You want to win league titles, you want to have a perfect season, stuff like that. And it was important for us to get that game if we wanted to, accomplish some of the goals we had on our list at the beginning of the season. And it was a dogfight for us, and we had to obviously come back and win that game. And it kind of tested us a little bit and probably what we needed.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I always look at it. It was a tale of two halves almost, really a quarter and a half, and then the rest of the game. Archbold came out, the quarterback there, very mobile, very ran through his progressions. Was that something you expected and planned for at that point?
Yeah, on film you could tell he was getting better and better every week and had played with a lot of poise. You wouldn't have known he was a sophomore. He sat in the pocket. He knew where receivers were supposed to be. He went through progressions, could extend plays with his legs if he needed to. Was just very polished for a young kid, and then they have really good athletes around him, and that obviously makes it a little bit easier sometimes for the quarterback. The line did a nice job, so we knew it was not going to be easy. We knew that they were going to present us with some challenges, and sometimes in a game like that, you just got to keep plugging away, wear a team down, and kind of find what you can do and be successful with.
Yeah, and that was one of the things everybody in the booth and even the fans out there were like, oh, wait a minute, we're down, which is, I believe, the first time we've been down at any point in any game. I'm not sure. I think maybe Eastwood might have scored first on us, but then we came back immediately. But how did the kids react to that?
Pretty well. Going into the locker room, I don't think anybody was panicked. A lot of times people think, oh, what'd you say to them? Or assume there was a lot of screaming and yelling, and there really wasn't any of that. It was just a matter, we felt like we moved the ball pretty well in the first half and kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We got a touchdown taken off the board with a penalty.
Yep.
And then missed a field goal. Now, it was a long field goal, and I was okay with that because I knew if it got to the end zone, it would have been a touchback anyway. The chances of converting a 4th and 20-something are slim. But then, we move the ball again and get bogged down in the red zone and miss another field goal, which normally we're not going to do. and then we had the fumble at the 1-yard line. So we felt like we had 3 opportunities to put points on the board, and at a minimum, it should have been, 14-0 and possibly 21 points for us, and we just kind of let those slip away, and we knew in the second half we couldn't do that if we wanted to win, but we felt like we could move the ball on them.
Yeah, and we spoke to some of the seniors, which were, we wanted to congratulate them, but it was a very interesting conversation. They seemed to be, hey, we knew what to do, we knew that we could fix the mistakes that we made. They didn't really talk about Archbold beating them or outplaying them. They knew that they had to fix that. Now, talk a little bit about your senior leadership and what they did.
Well, of course,
you got Mad Max, which is
yeah, it's a group of guys that have been around for 4 years and have seen us in a lot of big games. Some of those guys have been huge contributors in those big games. Some guys maybe not as big but have still been contributors, but they've all seen them. They've all been in those situations, those pressure games, and they understand how we've reacted in the past in those situations and understood what it takes. And like I said, there was no panic. So I think that shows a tremendous amount of leadership out of those guys. Even the underclassmen didn't panic. And we had talked with coaches that there was going to be a point in the season where things weren't going to be going our way, and how do we react to that? So I think hopefully kind of alerting them to that, something bad is going to happen, or there's going to be a situation where we're not winning and our backs are against the wall. We have to be able to react in the right way.
Yeah, and we talked about a tale of two halves. Now you came out, we were down 14-7 at halftime. We come out in the second half, totally different team. I think the mentality just changed. I think the coaching staff, you went back to what Liberty Center does best, which is run the ball. We surpassed 400 yards rushing in that game out of the running backs. And was it a change of mentality, Coach, or was it just let's just do what we do and do it accurately?
Well, it was, we didn't really change a whole lot. We made an adjustment on maybe one blocking scheme that we wanted to do, and I think once we got that first score of the second half, it was just the momentum change. And, we got that score, and then we got the ball right back on a turnover, got a field goal, and I think at that point it was, we're not going to throw the ball around or anything like that. We had gotten a lead fairly quickly, and it was just we want to control this game on the ground, control the clock. As long as Archbold wasn't scoring, we felt like we needed to just pound it at them. And so that was kind of just getting back to the basics. And then as the game went on, I think we just kind of gained momentum, and that is what kind of propelled us there in the second half.
Yeah, it appeared, what we talk about a lot at Tiger Sports Live is just the physicality, and it really looked different to us in the booth, the physicality and the wear down factor. I think our line, talk a little bit about the defense and offensive line and how does that come into your mind in terms of, okay, we're going to wear these guys down. We've got 10 guys that we can interchange. They've got 5. Talk a little bit about your offense and defensive line in that game.
Well, we have a lot of confidence in our offense and defensive line with the depth we have. I don't know that in game you're thinking, okay, let's start wearing these guys down just because there's so much going on. But, when you go back and watch film, it's like, okay, we started wearing them down. And, I think maybe game planning, you plan for that. I think with our defensive line, to block them for 4 quarters is a challenge.
Yeah.
And teams can do it for, here and there and maybe for a long period of time, but it's going to take a really, really good offensive line to do that for 4 quarters. And we felt like, we were getting kind of amped up there with the momentum, and and then guys started making plays. We got guys on the move. I thought Jackson Lonzak kind of contributed to getting the pressure on the quarterback, opened things up for some of the D linemen. So once we got the momentum there, and then offensively we started just grinding on them, and then that can be demoralizing, especially if you're down. You start to panic a little bit, like we got to make a big play, a splash play, and then you take chances, and if that doesn't work, now you're even more demoralized, and I think that kind of all played into it.
Yeah, I don't think, of course, up in the booth, it's a lot easier to coach the game while we're up in the booth than it is down in the field. So we always come up with stuff like that. But I think, too, players in two plays amplify that. One is Kellen Weimer chasing the Southmore quarterback down for the sack. I mean, he was all the way on the numbers chasing a Southmore that's probably close to 100 pounds lighter than him, tracks him down, and I think that was a big moment. And then, of course, Dippy Cifuentes in his I fell down, I got right back up and caught the ball and took off. I really think those plays really lend itself to that, oh, no, it's happening to us.
Yeah, with Kellen, it was a case where we wanted, we got some pressure with a blitz. And then, obviously Kellen's a very, very talented player. He's got great mobility, and he showed it on that play. And then with the interception, that's something Coach Miller, Coach Spangler, Coach Box work on those D linemen with a lot, is recognizing screen pass and being ready to make plays on it. And it just sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. The offensive lineman kind of threw Logan down, and he popped back up, and he was just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it was right there.
And so, but he still got to make a play. You got to catch that ball, and sometimes when you're that close to the quarterback and the ball comes out and you're that close, you don't have a lot of time to react. But he looked like he'd done it a million times, and then he got us a couple extra yards. But that was a huge momentum swing for us.
Yeah, and I think that was, you talk about the momentum swing, and I think there's always key moments to us in the booth that you go, okay, it is swung and the pendulum is way on the other side. It just seemed to be two very different games. I'm going to talk a little bit about, before we move on, about the defensive backs. It looked a lot about the footing. Seemed odd. We slipped more than I've ever seen us slip. But talk a little bit about the defensive backs and kind of what happened. It was the tale of two games, two halves for them.
Well, it's funny, the Sunday before the game we talked about, we're going to be playing on grass, which we don't get an opportunity to do a lot of, and we talked about we got to make sure our footing is good. And then we go out there and we're slipping all over
around,
the place.
yeah.
And some of that's just a matter of our footwork. If you're not real precise, sometimes, if you get elongated in your steps, your cleats don't catch quite as well. We talk about, whether we want to open up when we change directions or speed turn and things like that. So a couple of those things played into it. And we had to overcome that, I guess, a little bit. But I thought overall the play of our defensive backs was kind of a tale of two halves. Early, I don't think we really let them get behind us, but in the first half we didn't make a lot of plays on the ball. There were at least two opportunities where, we had a chance to make a play and knock the ball down, and we were maybe a little hesitant or just weren't as aggressive as what we should have been getting after the ball. But then we made a couple plays on some interceptions. Caden Sonnenberg had a big interception in the first half in the end zone. And then in the second half, Thomas had one early, and then we made more plays, knocking the ball down in that second half. And it was just a matter of us being more confident in ourselves and being more aggressive. I felt like for the most part, we were in the right spot at the right time for most of the game. We discussed it as a staff that, we gave up kind of probably more passing yards than what we wanted, but at the same time, we ended up with, 3 interceptions and 4 turnovers overall, and you're going to win most games when you do that.
Yeah, that was one of the things we reminded people as we were concluding the game is, Liberty was down, oh my God, 14-7. We haven't experienced that in quite some time. And actually, we were trying to figure out, were we down in the state championship game at halftime?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the last time that it was even close at halftime. And there was a big debate of whether that was true or not, but I have access to the video, so I looked. But a big win for us overall from a program standpoint. Coach Dominic has always been tough to coach against. Can we say an undefeated regular season? I know you don't like to do that, but a 10-win season. The seniors, they've had 4 undefeated regular seasons. We almost take that for granted. We go, okay, we're a winning program, but wow, talk a little bit about that and how, you played for Liberty. I did not. I went to Toledo Public Schools, unfortunately. But from a program standpoint, I mean, this just has to be the summit of wow.
While you're in the midst of it, it's hard to really think about. You don't really pay attention to it, and then when you go 10-0, it's like, man, we did that 4 years in a row, and it's like, wow, that was a pretty nice accomplishment, especially for those seniors. I don't know that there's ever been a class that's gone undefeated 4 straight years. We've had some really good classes that have been part of 4 league titles in a row, but I don't know that anybody's been 4 outright league titles in a row and 4 undefeated seasons. So it's a testament to what those guys have done and put into the program, and also the guys ahead of them. Some of those other classes kind of set the table for them, and they got to be a part of it. But they also learned from those guys and kind of carried on that legacy.
Yeah, and I think that's been a staple of your tenure here at Liberty Center. Is I put a post out on Facebook about little eyes are always watching, and I've heard that from your coaching staff. Look, people are watching. Pay it forward, pay it backwards, and I think that's been a staple of your coaching and your coaching staff, which is phenomenal staff, of saying, look, it is your responsibility to do these things other than go out on Friday night.
Right. And, we talked to the last couple senior classes and tell them, what, your legacy is what we do next year.
Right.
Are you leading these guys in the right way so that they can just kind of carry on that tradition? I just got on Hunter a couple days ago about, a defensive lineman makes a mistake or an offensive lineman. I said, Hunter, that's your fault. That's your position. Why doesn't he know what he's supposed to do? And it kind of jokingly, but at the same time, that's kind of how we want it. We want those seniors to take ownership that if you're my backup or, you're not a starter but you're a rotational guy, you better know what to do, and I'm going to make sure, because that's what leadership is.
Yeah, and I think our kids do that. I think they've absolutely done that. I know I used to love last year the Cruz triplets. They would be grabbing face masks at practice, and the coaches would even, I've seen it, go, hey, teach, don't tell.
And it's neat to see when you're a returning starter and you come into the season, you know what to do. You know what the plays are. You've done it for 3 years. It's easy. The younger guys, it's not. They need a lot more reps. So to see some of our younger guys from the beginning of the season that weren't quite sure what they were supposed to do to now, they really know. And obviously the coaches are a big part of that, but I think our seniors are a big part of that too, making sure that if those guys make a mistake, they're watching when they're not getting reps. They're watching to make sure their backups know what to do. And in between plays, they're teaching them, or, hey, on film, here's what I saw. Make sure if you see this, you're doing this and stuff like that. And we got a lot of seniors and even some juniors that are doing that and teaching sophomores and some freshmen what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's, people always ask, why are you guys so darn good in football? I think leadership is a huge component of that. Mm-hmm. So now I will say, with all that said, I love that I was in the locker room actually sitting beside you, and one of the coaches, we won't mention who it was talking about it, and there was a cool video about a styrofoam cup and your position and who you are and what you deserve. And I love the mentality of the coaching staff and even the kids. You could see them nodding, saying, hey, none of this matters.
Right.
None of it matters. This is not for you. This is what you've achieved. So you have to earn the next thing, and I love that. And I think that's, as we move on from the Arts Bowl game and into this week's playoff game, I think that was just, to me, that struck me as a father and a parent and a fan to say, guys, it's all good, but you've earned nothing, and we start over.
Right, and there's a couple different layers to that. One of the hard things when you've had success as a program is staying hungry and understanding what it took to reach the success you've reached. Sometimes if you've had 3 or 4 years in a row of a lot of success, kids can sometimes think, well, it just happens because I'm here. And the reality is these kids have got to work extremely hard to get whatever success they want. The other part of that is, when you get in the playoffs, you're basically starting over. It's a new season. Right. What you did in the regular season doesn't matter. We've been a part of we make the playoffs and we got beat by some teams in the regular season, and we turn around and play them again, and you're successful, you win. What happens, in the regular season doesn't always dictate what happens in the postseason. So there's part of that, and then we talk about we've had a lot of great players over the last few years. When your season's done, the program kind of moves on. You go from being the king of the school to you're just a fan now watching.
Or a freshman in another program.
Yeah, or you go back to the bottom of the totem pole and you kind of forgotten a little bit, and sometimes that's hard. You go from being worshipped every Friday to, well, now everybody cares about this guy because you're not on the team anymore.
Or what's your name, freshman?
Yeah, and so we got to understand that we get a lot of praise and accolades, and some of it's warranted, some of it's not, but it's not something that we always should expect, and it's not something that we should take for granted.
Yeah, and I love that. That really struck me. I don't spend a lot of time in the locker room. I just happened to be there for something totally different and caught that. And the players being humble, I think that just keeps that hunger. Says, okay, we've earned nothing. We got to go out Friday. Before we get to the Oak Harbor matchup, which Oak Harbor was victorious over Eastwood last week. We got a bye week. I just want to spend 5 minutes on the bye week. Everybody wanted to know what Tiger Sports Live guys were going to do because, like your program, we've been in that booth or somewhere every Friday night since August 23rd. What kind of attitude or what mentality did you guys take during the bye week?
Well, one of the things we wanted to do is basically stay as close to routine as what we always do. So our practice routine was pretty much the same, but we did back off a little bit on the intensity with an emphasis on we need to kind of freshen up, get healthy. We had some guys nursing some bumps and bruises, and we wanted to get those right. And I thought for the most part we did that. We got some guys some reps in some secondary positions that maybe isn't their primary position that we feel like, down the road we may need. So we want to be prepared for that. We got some backups reps that maybe don't always get the full load of reps in practice, but they got plenty this past week. And we wanted to shore up some of the secondary things that we might do that maybe isn't our bread and butter, but it's in your tool pouch that when you need it, you want to be able to run it. And so we worked really hard on those things. Just trying to get better, focusing on ourselves. We kind of did an audit on, okay, what are some things we've got to get better at that, maybe we've kind of let go throughout the season. So we that's what the bye week was for us. We got in the weight room a little bit more intensely than what we have in the regular season. We got in there an extra day. We did some more work in there than what we normally do, and the idea was we're going to use this as a week to gain strength, and maybe other programs don't have that opportunity. We want to use that to our advantage.
Yeah, and that's a great mentality to have. I think with the format changing this year in the playoffs, you haven't experienced this before, so great use of time. So let's move on to Oak Harbor, a team that we're familiar with, but we've never played in the regular season. We've played Oak Harbor the last 2 years in the playoffs. Battles. These were battles out at Clay 2 years ago. It was bruising. It was probably one of the hardest hitting football games I've ever seen. And then again, no real difference in that at Maumee last year. Stephen Brogan comes up with that game winning, saving, whatever you want to call it, interception late in the game to seal it for Liberty Center. But talk a little bit about those experiences with Oak Harbor and how that's kind of giving you guys some insight.
Well, like you said, probably the last 2 years, those are two top three of the most physical games we've played, especially 2 years ago. That was just, you're watching that game on the sideline, and it's like jarring your bones just to see some of the physicality there. And it wasn't just us. That was them as well. So they're a very well-coached team, and it's interesting. You get, second week of the playoffs, and you're pretty familiar with the team because you've played them, and that's not always the case, especially a team that's not really on your schedule. But the fact that we've seen them the last 2 years, I think, speaks volumes of their program. Coach May is a really, really good coach. These guys are very disciplined. They've got a great program. So we kind of know what they do defensively and offensively, but they're a little bit different team than they have been the last 2 years. They have a new quarterback that probably isn't quite as dynamic as what they've had. The quarterback they had the last 2 years was just a phenomenal athlete.
Very athletic.
And then they had the Ridner twins that, were all Ohio players. And so they just look a little bit different. They probably really run the ball a little bit more now, and they're more of a pound it right at you type of team. But they still have a lot of speed on the outside. They've got a kid that plays third in the state in Division II in the 110-meter hurdles.
Ooh.
So, if he gets loose in the secondary, we're not catching him. He's got some elite speed. So, they're going to present us with a lot of challenges. Nobody's going to pursue to the ball better than their defense. That's one thing they pride themselves on. And so points could be at a premium, and we're going to have to really work our tail off to get some stops on defense, and we're going to have to work our tail off to get some points on offense. One of the things we looked at from last year's game is we ran a ton of plays, and it was basically 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We did not generate a lot of explosive plays, and that's something we're going to try and improve upon this year. Is we feel like we need to get some explosive plays.
Wait, are you giving away a little bit of your game plan, Casey?
Not really. I mean, when I talk explosive plays, I'm talking about the run game.
Oh, okay.
But, we feel like we need to do – if you want to score points, you got to have some big chunk plays. And last year it was just we were meticulous, which you need to be able to do in the playoffs, but at the same time it makes it a little easier when you get some big plays in there.
Well, I mean, with that dynamic quarterback they had, though, I remember at Maumee last year playing them, you really had to defend both the pass and the run equally because they really weren't dominant in one. And with that athletic quarterback, I mean, he could scramble. Look, you could see him. I actually, preparation for this game, went back and rewatched that game. You could see him going through his progressions on the run, so he was dynamic. And then watching this year's Oak Harbor team, the different quarterback has a different style, and the run game certainly, is where they look like they want to go for them. And I don't know. I've watched a few games. They are very much, hey, we're happy with 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and we'll keep the ball. Very Delta-ish type, very Otsego-ish type if we compare them.
I think that's one of the things, the sign of a great coach, and Coach May is he knows his personnel. He knows here's what we're good at, here's maybe where we're not great. Let's focus on what we're really good at, and that's pounding the ball. They've got a stable of running backs, and they accentuate their strengths really well. And that's kind of where they're at and why they've been successful.
Okay. Well, while we conclude here, let's talk a little bit about – give me 3 things that you want to make sure that Liberty accomplishes in this Oak Harbor game.
Well, I think it comes down to controlling the line of scrimmage. We've got to be able to move the ball offensively. Defensively, we got to be able to stop their run game, put them into predictable situations that, might give us an advantage. Special teams, I think, will be big. That was a key last year. We gave up a special team score that – almost turned that game around in a negative way. So we want to make sure that our coverage units are good, that, we win the field position, and that happens on special teams. And then the turnover margin, is always going to be a key. If we can, take care of the football and maybe force a couple turnovers, that gives you, extra possessions and extra opportunities to score and takes those away from them. So I think those are going to be keys for us. And then, like I said, if we can generate some explosive plays and limit theirs, again, that's going to give us an advantage, hopefully.
Okay. Well, Friday night, Rex Lindgren Stadium, Kip Kern Field, Liberty Center enters the playoff, and actually playoff week 2 as Liberty Center had the bye against the Oak Harbor Rockets. So 7 o'clock kickoff, and Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, football fans. We're going to talk about a little preseason, a little going back through the docket this year, the 10 games with Mark, and just a rundown of what Liberty Center looked like these past 10 games as we got to this point. In the preseason, Liberty Center had been playing Defiance the last several years, and Liberty, pretty much handled them. First scrimmage, a lot of testing going on. But then we ran into Sandusky Perkins, and what has not been the normal lately, we come out on the short end of that one, 3 touchdowns to 1. They had a speed merchant that gave our secondary some problems. And, after last year losing those 2 studs at cornerback, that was really a position that we were really worried about. So that woke Liberty up right away. All right, to jump in, the first game of the year, Tenora. The Tigers came out, scored touchdowns on their first 4 possessions. Crime Brink was 11 of 14 for 230 yards that game. Get that, Liberty Center passing for 230 yards. Moeller, 90 yards. Gary had 66 to lead the way. Lonzak had 4 catches for 130 yards. Ethan Gray had 2 catches for 55. Some of the highlights, Lonzak scored on a 55-yard touchdown pass. And then later on, Lonnie scored on another 32-yard touchdown pass. Ethan Gray scored on a 27-yard touchdown pass. And later on, Gray scored again on a 7-yarder. So that night, Liberty Center's passing game held sway. And I think that's something the coaches wanted to see early on, the passing game. So we moved on then. That was a 42-0 win. Then we played Eastwood, who is an opponent in the league with Oak Harbor. They split, by the way, 1-1. But Eastwood, one of the highly rich traditions in that conference they're in, always a powerhouse for the last 30 years. But the Tigers came out pounding. They scored 5 touchdowns in their first 6 possessions. But Eastwood, they scored on their first possession and their third possession. That game was 21-14 well into the second quarter. But Liberty Center, after trading scores, kind of took over the brunt of the load, scored again twice and led 34-14 at halftime. Baxter Barrett scored from 35 yards out. Gary Cruz scored on runs of 62 and 50 yards. So the Tigers explosive on both ends of the heartbeat there. Tigers had 400 yards rushing against Eastwood. This is not just, some of our next door neighbors. This was a good Eastwood team. 400 yards rushing, 110 yards passing. Eastwood was held to only 40 yards rushing, but threw for 210. In this day and age, that's can be expected. Tigers kept on this hot streak. We moved to OHSAA, the third game. Tigers scored 6 touchdowns in the first 7 possessions and led 40-0 at halftime. Liberty Center rushed for 285, passed for 110, so still a good mix. Lonzak, in that game, Lonzak had a 98-yard touchdown catch and run. Gary Cruz, a 57-yard touchdown run, highlighted there. So weeks 4 and 5 were Swanton and Bryan, and those two scores, Liberty won by a total of 141-7. Bryan, underclassmen, and Swanton just down this year. So then we move to week 6. Liberty's coming in 5-0, but we get to take on our arch rivals from south of the river, the Patrick Henry Patriots. Last year was a scare, remember. Liberty had to score late to beat Patrick Henry and hang on. I believe the score was 20-15, 21-15, something like that. Anyway, in this game against Patrick Henry, Liberty Center punted 4 times. That was the high all year long.
That was more than maybe all the other games combined.
The other 9 games, maybe. And it really started out, Liberty exchanged punts, but then Liberty and PH exchanged punts. It didn't really go anywhere right at first, and then Old Crew picked one off at midfield, returned it 45 yards for a touchdown, and that kind of got the ball rolling. The defense came up with another pick in the second half, and that helped bring it. Gary Cruz had 2 touchdown runs of 45 and 30 yards. Liberty Center held Patrick Henry to 14 yards rushing, but PH threw for 200, and that, again, is not the worst thing in the world. Liberty's offense rushed for 200 and threw for 65. So the total yardage that game, 265 for Liberty, 215 for Patrick Henry. Final score, though, Liberty Center 35-6. But some of the stats can push things around.
I can lie with stats, Spike. Jigs, I tell you that all the time, don't I?
Okay, then we went to Game 7. We took on the Vikings. Evergreen came in at 5-1, and they were feeling their Cheerios. But Liberty Center came in at 6-0. Tigers scored 8 touchdowns on all 8 possessions. The lone Evergreen score was early in the game on an 80-yard touchdown pass breakaway. But Liberty Center dominated. The pass defense tightened considerably from this time on the rest of the year. Moeller had a rushing score of 20 yards. Gary, another big run of 50. He added runs of 30 and 36. The Tigers rushed that night for 500 yards, passed for 75.
And Spike, I'm going to jump in here just
Yeah.
a second with Evergreen and expand upon that. First of all, I would say Jesse Miller in the booth with us, Brian Jiggs Babcock in the booth. Guys, one of the things that we talked about on the 50 with Coach Moeller is Evergreen has kind of been the Bermuda Triangle of football for Liberty Center. I mean, it's just weird things have happened. Remember, Spike, we go back. Remember we used to be on top and we saw the tornado? Everybody. I mean, you talk about weird stuff.
Weather,
weather,
you name
tornadoes, Evergreen scoring, 15 points in the first, 3 minutes on a game. I don't know. Just weird things happen. But certainly, as you said, Spike, Liberty Center came to play this time and wanted to kind of just debunk that whole thing.
Yeah, that Evergreen, they get athletes up there. It's just a matter of getting them put together. All right, then Liberty Center moved on to Delta. Delta had some tough breaks this year. They lost some very tight games. They lost 3 toughies by less than a touchdown. And Liberty Center came right out and put the pokey to them. They scored 5 touchdowns and a field goal in the first half, and they led 39-0 right at halftime. Now, Delta rushed against Liberty for 101 yards. That's a high water mark this year by any team. Liberty only rushed for 133, but Liberty Center threw for 170 yards. So if it doesn't break on one end, you pop it from another. So Liberty Center that night with about 300 yards of total offense, not a big one. Now the highlights, Isaiah Badenhop had a touchdown catch. Lana Zach had a 65-yard touchdown pass, and then a 2-point conversion to Mason Smith. And then later on, Badenhop busted a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown, scintillating, a lot of moves, a lot of juke and jive, and screaming and jeeming and everything else, and really looked tough. So the Tigers put it on Delta. They went to Wauseon. Wauseon struggling this year, ending at 2-8. Tigers were up 42-0 at halftime, winning at 56-0. Liberty rushed for 220 yards, held Wauseon to 45. Liberty threw for 82. So, keeping their hat in the ring in that. Mason Smith caught a 15-yard touchdown pass. Ethan Gray returned a punt 85 yards for a touchdown. Thomas Moeller had 2 rushing touchdowns of 21 and 20 yards. Set up by a sack by Gary Cruz. Caden Sonnenberg had picked up a fumble, a 25-yard fumble return for a touchdown to highlight that. Then we moved to our last regular season game, our game from 2 weeks ago, the Archibald Blue Streaks. Holy cow. The Liberty Center Tigers had been a unit all year. I mean a pounding, thriving, machine-like gunner. We get into this game, And here's what Liberty Center did on their first 4 possessions. They missed 2 field goals. They threw an interception. And then after driving 75 yards, they fumbled on the 2-yard line. That is not Liberty Center football, but it was that night. And that's why as we get into the playoffs, take nothing for granted, fans. I don't care who we're playing, what we're doing. This is playoffs, and crazy things can happen. Teams can rise to the top, as we could see tonight. Now, at the same time, Archibald started out missing a field goal, fumbling it away, and then throwing an interception. So 2 teams, the 2 best in the league supposedly, looking like 4th graders.
Fifth graders.
Well,
maybe.
5th graders. Yeah.
Wait. Jesse coaches junior high, so
No, we don't do those kind of turnovers in junior high. Absolutely
So
not.
Archibald, from a short field of 45 yards, threw a 15-yard touchdown pass to open the scoring. And then they threw a ball that a down and out and up route, 85-yard touchdown pass, and all of a sudden Liberty Center's looking down the barrel of a 14-0 deficit. And their doubts were starting to flow and fly, and everybody thinking a lot more than they should. But this, I'm telling you, it's that time of year when you cannot take anything for granted. The past success of Liberty Center in these last 6 years in league and in playoff football doesn't mean a single thing. Doesn't mean a darn thing at all. It's all what happens tonight. To go back to Archibald, then Liberty Center buckled down. They put together a 75-yard drive. Moeller popped one from 16 yards out, and before the half ended, Liberty Center got the score back to a 14-7 deficit. Then in the second half, Archibald got the kickoff, but they had an interception. And then later on, it was all after not scoring their first possession. After that, it was all Liberty Center. Gary Cruz scored on a 40-yard touchdown run. Max Walker kicked a 35-yard field goal, That gave Liberty a 17-14 lead. Now, that was from the 10-yard line. A lot of times Casey will go for the 4th and, he'll go for it. But this was a game, a tight game, a game that we really needed to win, wanted to win. Casey decided, I want to put points on the board. I want to go ahead. I want that scoreboard to show throughout the stadium just for the effect. All right, that was at the end of 3. Then in the fourth quarter, Moeller scampered a 5-yard touchdown run, and then later on added a 57-yard touchdown run, and that sealed it for Liberty, 33-14. Liberty Center rushed that game. Even though it was closer, Liberty rushed for 425 yards, and they threw for 50. They started out throwing the ball. They had some bad luck, and they pretty much forgot the pass from that middle of the second quarter on.
And I think, Brian, you were on the call in that game. I'm not sure Liberty threw the ball in the second half.
Yeah, one time. I think one time. They had one throw in the second half.
Yep.
So to close it out, the total yardage in that Archibald game, Liberty Center had 475 yards total offense to 250 for Archibald. Now, that puts us here tonight.
Well, Spike Whitman, this is a familiar foe coming to town here tonight, Oak Harbor. This is a team that we've played the last 2 years in the playoffs and had 2 dandy performances, really. 2 years ago over at Oregon Clay, hard-hitting, slobber-knocking, just a really tough football game for Liberty Center. And then last year, everybody remembers the game at Maumee went down to the wire. You could say that Oak Harbor was in control to potentially take the lead late in that game. We had an interception from Stephen Brogan to seal that thing late in the fourth quarter. So this is a football program that has had a lot of success, a lot of deep playoff runs. This is a big football team. They play very similar to Liberty Center in their style and their physicality. They want to run and they want to hit you. We have Jesse Miller up here.
Hey, good
tonight.
to be here tonight with you guys. Yeah,
Jess,
debut.
Jess, talk to us just a little bit about Oak Harbor and what you've seen the last couple years in those playoff
Well,
games.
like we talked about Wednesday at the breakdown, this team's they're going to come out ready to hit. They're not going to back down. This is a team that knows what to expect from a physicality standpoint. They're going to give us all they have, I mean, they're playing with house money tonight. Liberty's picked to win. There's not many people that'll give them a chance, and we've ruined their year 2 years in a row now. So they're going to come out hungry, ready to go, bringing everything they have, and they're going to pull out all the stops tonight to try to get a win here.
If you look at the offense, and really the offense for Oak Harbor last year was so outstanding. It started with Michael Lalonde, the quarterback. He has graduated. They had Jacob Ridner at a running back, he's a very explosive player. Tyler Thompson at a receiver. He is no longer there. This Oak Harbor offense is going to look a little bit different than we've seen the last several years. Maybe not as many weapons on the outside, but this is a big football team up front. They return 3 starting linemen, Isaac Schulte, Alex Reif, and Ryder Lindsay. This is a big offensive line. They go 305, 205, 255, 245, and 270. And they really want to ride this offensive line offensively. They want to move forward. This is a little bit different than Liberty Center as far as a blocking scheme. With Liberty Center, you get a lot of action with your guards pulling, and this team is more straight ahead. Not a lot of pulling. They will pull guard here and there, but it's more of a zone blocking scheme, meaning just go straight ahead, and a back can pick a hole at times. But this is a 70% run team, and they want to run at you, and they want to 3 yards in a cloud of dust, like we talked in the podcast. Shorten this game, ball control against Liberty Center. And Spike, go ahead.
And to that point, Coach Nick Miller this week worked extremely hard with the linemen, both offensive and defensive, how to read those, what they do, what their first step is, how to read them, and when they do this is what they're going to run. So you have got to shift sideways this way. They never worked to this extent for this type of running game for as long as I can remember against another team. This was brand new work, and he had to repeat it a few times.
Oh, yeah.
And run it again type of stuff. But it was really intricate and so complicated. And these guys are brains when they can read the things that our teams have learned over the last years about technique and how to expose it and how to take advantage of it and how to work against it, let their leverage work against them. I mean, this week was like a textbook right out of 1952 almost.
Well,
neither one of us 3 weren't born then.
That's right.
Spike.
That's right.
No, but going back to what you guys are talking about here with the defensive lines, you watched a little bit of the film here, and you watch, you stand up, you're getting pushed back.
Yep.
We have to lower our pad level tonight, be gap disciplined. They will try the cutbacks. It's a zone blocking scheme almost. It's straight ahead, like Brian said. And the running back will just look for his hole, and he's going to hit it. And linebackers can't over-pursue because you're going to get a cutback and a big play. Very disciplined in what we're doing tonight, and I think we'll be okay defensively.
I think if you look at just Oak Harbor offensively, Braden Porath is going to be the quarterback tonight, number 12, senior, 6'1", 140. Not the biggest kid, but he throws a pretty good ball. Now, he's not going to be much of a running threat. They will roll him out, a lot of play action in the pass game where they're fake and run, getting outside of the pocket where he's got a 1-2-man route. And this isn't a down-the-field passing game. So you're not going to see guys wide running deep. It's going to be more of a shortened within a 20-yard pass game. And Braden Porath throws a pretty good ball. Getting to the running back, Blake Nipkel, number 2, good-looking running back. This is a 5'10", 185 senior. Runs it well up the middle. If he can break a couple tackles, he's got some good speed if he gets in the open spaces. Travis Boyer, number 10. Not sure that we're going to see him tonight, but he's a big piece of their offense. If they do not have him tonight, he's kind of the H-back, so they'll stack him a lot behind the guards, lead him up on these inside runs, and also middle screen him. That's one thing you're going to see with this offense.
And they worked hard defending the screen pass. The linebackers and the defensive linemen, they would read that. They would watch the quarterback's feet right in the game, and he's going to be giving it away. but you still have to read, but you have to react.
And the screen has been a play that has got us a few times in a few games this year. So I would expect Oak Harbor to use that a lot, use that against us. And that when I say a middle screen, it's basically your running back. It comes right behind the defensive lineman. You let those defensive linemen come up the field. You dump it in behind. You get a block on a linebacker, and you're off to the races. And what that can do to a defense is slow your defensive linemen down. They got them thinking, you can't just pin your ears back and come up, all the way because they'll dump it right behind you.
Yeah, and you're going to see some misdirection screens, I think, tonight, even more so than the middle screen, like what Archibald did to us, where they get our defense flowing one way, they're going to bring the back out the other side.
Yes.
And that's where we have to stay home on the back side, or you will see a big play from them.
Yeah, guys, we talked a lot about games of preparation, and Jesse, I wanted to ask you before we get to the national anthem here, but Liberty had played many games where the starters really didn't play an entire game.
Right.
Everybody talks about the Archibald game being good for us, and certainly screens and our players having to play a whole game. What is that as a coach, and you've got a lot of coaching experience here, what is that like when you're trying to get players ready to play an entire game, but they really haven't played an entire game all year?
Well, it's hard. It's tough for Casey and the staff. I'm sure there's games he wants to keep them in longer, but you remember 2 years ago the injuries, and I know that's kind of a thing. We don't want injuries. We be as healthy as we can, but it truly is good to see, and I think our preparation this week with the screens and everything else, I think we'll be ready for him this week.
Yeah, so Archibald turned out to be probably the game that we needed.
Correct.
As we
Absolutely.
talk about preparation and getting ready for the playoffs, and also one of the things we talked about with Coach Moeller is what happened during the break, the bye week. And I think that was important. We got healthy. Players got some rest. He talked about maybe a little less strenuous hitting, a little more weight room. We got a chance to get stronger. So I thought that they did a really good job. And our coaching staff is, I don't know of a better coaching staff than what we have at Liberty Center. Of course, we've got the orange goggles on. Correct. And, we're always looking at that. But a lot of well-planned activities in that bye week. So before we get to the national anthem, I do want to say a shout out to our Oak Harbor people watching. The Oak Harbor Athletic Department posted our links. If you're out there, hey, don't mute us. Somebody said it would be better to watch on mute, but don't mute us. We're gonna.
We'll try to keep it a little calm.
We
tonight.
have orange goggles on. We do. You've watched us. People have looked at our film from last year. But you know what? It's all about the student athletes, and whether you're in a white uniform or an orange and black uniform, we're going to be very, very good to all of our student athletes.
Supportive.
Yes, sir. So we're getting ready here for the national anthem. Liberty Center's alma mater was just played, and the Oak Harbor Rocket Band's coming on the field now. And we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after the national anthem for the kickoff. And this concludes the KK Collision pregame show here on Tiger Sports Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. To honor America and respect for all who have served this great country to defend these freedoms, we ask you to remain standing, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag as the color guard comprised of the Liberty Center VFW Post 6596 and the Gilbert Ballman American Legion Post 492 present our nation's colors, and we honor America while with the playing of the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, we're back here just moments before kickoff. Tigers are lining up, and Spike, this is one of my favorite things of all time. Isn't it?
Your favorite. This is Spike Whitman's favorite right here.
Yeah, here they come. The Tigers coming in from that west end at the locker room there, the metal building, lining up. And now it gets into the playoffs, and you can't have the same 300 youth football players out there along with the band and lining up to go through Murderer's Row. Some of that is curtailed, but definitely this is Tiger football night. And it was so cool. The flag, who was hanging pretty limp most of the time, furled out well when you got to the high points of the national anthem.
Because it's all the traffic. They're parked all the way down on Route 24. Shuttle buses bringing people in. What a great night for football here at Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Kern Field.
Temperature just under 50 degrees or just enough of a breeze to let you know, hey, this is this isn't even October anymore.
And here,
this is November.
Folks, you're out there.
Time to get cold.
You're out there watching. We have a camera on the field tonight. AJ Fairchild from NWO Sports working with us as part of this, and he's actually on the field live with that camera.
I love it.
And so a great shot there as here come the Tigers.
Here they come, those swashbuckling men in black. It's time for Liberty Center football because here is the Liberty Center Tigers. Oh, you gotta love it. Hordes of them flowing through. All black helmets, black jerseys, and black pants. Oh, baby! Boy, it's time for some competition.
Spike, Jesse made a good point here during our little intermission there. Liberty Center coming off a bye last week did not play. Sometimes you've seen in college football playoffs that teams come out flat, coming out of a bye. We'll see how Liberty comes out tonight. Obviously, Oak Harbor played Eastwood last week on a big win, avenged a big loss to Eastwood. So we'll see how Liberty comes out here tonight, see if they're ready to go or if they're a little slow and stagnant.
Well, and you look at everything that went into that. The struggle at Archibald, the back and forth battle, and then the week off. And Casey and his staff, they work on perfection and perfection. I mean, they work in style, in rhythm. Everything has its place, right in order. Everything is orchestrated. Now you get a week off, and wow, what are we going to do with ourselves? Yeah. This was a new thing for the coaches, so they had to really work on changing up the practices. They did different things. They let the teams scrimmage more, varsity versus the number twos, and then the threes would play the twos, and then the threes would play the ones. And they just kept mixing it back and forth and having some fun for part of the scrimmage. And then it got down to the nitty-gritty, too. But the moods changed last week and this week, and it's just a different mindset. and the team accepted the fact they had a week off well. They responded well. I was impressed with their mentality, their approach, their grasp of what the situation was, and you could see that everything was spiraling to the top like the pyramid in getting ready for this game. So I think with our coaching staff, they've prepared our kids well, and I think this is going to be a tight one.
Yeah, Spike, to touch on that, I really doubt that our coaching staff just 2 weeks ago decided what they're going to do on a bye week. I think they kind of knew before, a couple of weeks before going in, there's a chance, let's have a game plan, what we're going to do, and let's execute our plan. So we'll see what happens here tonight.
Now, one thing in the points, Liberty Center against teams at 500 or better, Liberty Center outscored them 42-6. Oak Harbor, 31-29. So that's a huge difference. We'll see if that matters here. High end over end kick by Walker. Taken back over his shoulder to the 5. Tries to advance it. He runs into a burst. He's nailed right there. No gain on the return. And Oak Harbor Rockets will take over around their 5-yard line.
Well, what a start that time. Baxter Barrett, Isaac Orth getting around their man and just waiting for that returner within the 10-yard line. Boy, that is not where you want to start if you're Oak Harbor coming against this Liberty Center defense.
Well, and now Oak Harbor will be tested. Listen, I know they came in here ready to play. They're tested. They've got revenge on their mind, but now they've got a tough way to go. From the end zone, gives straight ahead, breaks one, pounces up and gets up across the 10-yard line. So a good first down gain for the Rockets.
We mentioned Travis Boyer, number 10, potentially being out tonight. It'll be interesting to see if they try some different formations, maybe spreading this thing out without having that H-back kind of lead-up blocker on some of these runs. That time they kind of went spread, had 3 wide. But number 2, you're going to see him a lot. Blake Nickel, they're going to ride him tonight.
Okay, they come out in the gun. Double wide out to the short side of the field. They're going to give it right up the middle again. The Tigers converge on that. Stop him for maybe a yard, and that's it. That'll bring up 3rd and short. Now, I have to believe that maybe they won't have a running back to replace the magnitude of the starter. But I got to believe the next man up is going to have some talent.
Yeah, that's right.
With their offensive line, that may not make a lot of difference.
Well, it looks like Matt Hubans, number 44, is kind of moving into that role, and we'll play that.
Third down is a big down tonight, Spike.
Yep.
If Oak Harbor can convert on some of these, keep this thing going, clock going.
Back to throw, caught, and that's going to be a first down.
All right,
Did
nice
a little
route.
down and back
right.
in route, and good for about 8 yards, and that's going to move the chains up to the 23-yard line.
That's a little bit of that short passing game we mentioned with Oak Harbor. Not going to see a lot of deep balls tonight, but they do a good job on those intermediate routes, 20 yards and in, good route that time, be able to pick up that first down.
Got to get off on third down here. Got to get off the field.
Right.
Big play for Oak Harbor. Let's see what we can do here.
All right, they got out from away the shadow of their goal post. So 1st and 10 from the 23, out of the gun. Gives it right up the middle, cuts past one, breaks another tackle, and the Tigers now swarm to the ball. But an 11-yard pickup and another first down for Oak Harbor.
We talked about the cutback lane in this offense. You saw at that time Blake Nickel with a great cutback. It was a big hole on that backside. Yeah. That's going to be the sniper, the outside linebacker to close that backside down on those cutback lanes. Big hole that time. He found it. Another first down.
Yeah, Brian looked like he was going to the 1 or 3 hole and almost bounced it back 0-2 there. So
Tigers with a 3-man front. Now Cruz as a down lineman. They right up the middle and that cut off of that. And the Tigers now swarm to the ball.
Walker.
Stop him for no gain on the play.
Walker, Lonazak in on that one. Just give these linebackers a little bit of time to kind of time some of these things up and see a few of these, and you're going to see some more negative plays, I got a feeling, here tonight.
Yep, gap discipline here. Good job by Max.
All right, now 2nd down and long. Out of the gun with a wide out either way. Burning a little play clock here.
Not surprised with that
Now
one.
quarterback sets up. Two-step drop, throws a home run ball out there along the sideline, and I believe that was Badenhop on some excruciating coverage.
Great job that time by Isaiah. Man, he has really done a good job of playing the hands. As a corner, if I'm out there, I would panic. The ball, if I can't see the ball, I need to turn and see the ball. These corners do a great job of not locating the ball and be able to play through the hands when the receiver's hands go up. Great example that time. Stride for stride, wait for those hands, go play through it. Great job.
Squeezed him to the sideline. Used the sideline as his friend there. Another defender. Good job by Isaiah.
JT Olcrew now in the game as an extra defensive back. Back to throw, in trouble, has to dump it away. Incomplete, super pressure from El Toro.
Well, the dipster getting in on that third down play. That was good. Looked like he had a receiver who's kind of stepping up in to make that throw, and the dipster kind of hit him that time. He couldn't throw a big stop there for the Tigers.
Great point. You don't have to sack him, but if you can put pressure on and force him to change his throw, that's the game, and the Tiger defense holds true. Now back to punt, standing at his 22. Short little dribble. Wow, it's going to take a great roll. Liberty Center cannot afford to get near that one with four Rockets around that.
That is a great punt that time. He kept that thing low, let the coverage kind of get down there, and had a great roll. Isaiah really couldn't field that thing.
No, nothing he could do there but let it go.
Yeah, punt never got more than 15 feet
No,
high.
it didn't. But, boy, he got all of it. I think you're going to look at Oak Harbor's front seven. I think that's probably the strength of their defense. The big line, linebackers flow well. We'll see what they do against Liberty's run here tonight.
45-yard punt.
Got a pass play here.
Wide
open.
They got a man wide open out there. Gary caught it
Got
to
him.
50 and falls down. Gary had the twist around the other way, got his feet caught up, but the play-action pass worked to perfection. It's a gain of 25 yards, and Liberty Center now with the ball at the 45-yard line of the Rockets.
Well, what a play call there. Gary Cruz wide open. Caden kind of threw it, and Gary actually flipped his shoulder, still able to locate that ball. Great catch. I know he's going to be mad, probably could have kept his feet, but
a little bit,
I'll take it.
He caught it where the ball took him.
Spread wide to the far side. They're going to run a jet sweep to Barrett. Barrett following two blockers, but the Knights close quickly, and they hold him to a 2-yard gain. He had both Moeller and Cruz out in front, but doggone it, Oak Harbor defended it well.
Well, Spike, I think you're going to see with Oak Harbor's defense tonight, what are they keying? Run game, run game, run game. That was a good play action there by Caden, kind of paused, and that let Gary get open on that first play.
All crew wide out over here. Tigers with a double wing set, motion this way. Give to the motion man on the jet sweep. Gary, a lot of running room.
Get a block, JT.
Cuts it back across the green. He's got blockers, a whole wall of them into the end zone. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown. Kapow! 43 yards away. The downfield blocking was magnificent.
Yeah, Spike, we'd have to watch that again. That left side just caved.
Whoa.
Max was pulling from the backside and got a block.
Wide open that time. That was wide open. I think we're going to see that again after the extra point. Cole get that going, but listen, you can't give Gary Cruz wide open spaces like that. That's like a Brahma Bowl just running the pasture.
High snap, good hold by Crimebrink. The kick is on the way. It's good by Walker. Crimebrink, a good job there to recover. Got it down, and the kick was good. 7-0 at the 7:40 mark of the first period.
Here we go. We're going to see this again.
Back to this here. Look at the blocks downfield. JT downfield. Number Sawyer coming from the backside, getting a block. 18, Lonazak. Yeah. If you watch that, Kellen just sealing off that left side. Look at your right tackle, 20 yards downfield, getting a block. Nice.
Well, it's just a downfield block thing we continue to see. That's the expectation for this offense is go get that key block, and when you're downfield blocking like that, Gary doesn't need much space.
Dude, what a shot that was. A.J. Fairchild, NWO Sports, is with us tonight. A.J., thank you. What a shot that was.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
You know, let's go back over that play. we had to have people out in front because that whole side caved in.
Boy.
Well,
Explain what happened there.
So what
Who
happened
was-
is your left tackle and your left end caved in. You have Max was coming, I believe, from the right guard position. You got a kick on the linebacker seal. It was wide open. No one touched him. That all starts, you go back to the opening kickoff. Yes, they got 2 first downs, but they started on the, 5-yard line. Field position will be huge tonight, Spike. Oak Harbor cannot be stuck inside the 20 very much.
Oh, Walker drives one. Pow! 3
That's
yards
better than what
deep
they did
in the
last
end
time.
zone.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I
right.
think they might just
gained
take
12
that.
yards.
They gained 12 yards from what they had.
Walker averages 64 yards on every kickoff. That's 4 yards deep.
Yeah, that
Wow.
guy's got quite the leg.
We're following a couple games out there. Perkins is up on Napoleon 7-0 in the first. They scored on their first possession.
That'll be a tough one. That Perkins can score. All right. Oak Harbor back, handoff off
boy.
the left
Oh,
side,
here.
breaks
Oh,
through
boy.
the first quarter, and he's got a lot of running room. Cuts
Oh,
it back
boy.
across the grain. 2 good downfield blocks, and Oak Harbor pushes the ball 25 yards upfield, and they'll have a first down across the 45.
Mike, that's just off tackle, no cutback. I'm not sure what was going on there on that side of the field. Well
Coach
done.
Weimer's running up and down the sideline.
he's
though,
not
so
gonna be happy with that
He's
one.
going to be adjusting something.
On the left side, Oak Harbor, number 78, Alex Reif, he is a monster,
That's
and he is
the
an active
third.
player.
Yep, third gaping hole that they've knocked through in our line just to get it going. All right, quarterback out of the gun, looks upfield, now throws it high and too high, incomplete.
I think we have
Had
a hold.
Man open down there at the 30-yard line, but the Tigers converged on him. Now there's a yellow flag.
Great job by Thomas to converge on that from his deep safety spot. See if we get a hold here, maybe.
Looked like Gary might have been getting held. Oh, no.
Oh, no, they pointed towards
Illegal man
Liberty's-
downfield.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, now he's
I'm glad you know what that sign
Illegal
was.
man downfield.
Jesse
Okay.
probably knows.
I did know that one.
You knew that. Yeah, you got it. That coaching.
Yeah. You see that a lot in junior high.
They don't call that a lot in junior high, but
I don't know if they ever call it. You see it, they won't get called in junior high. You saw Casey pleading with the ref before that play was even over. He saw it right away, and ref threw the flag.
all right. 1st and 15 now from their own 41-yard line. Quarterback comes to the line, backs off. He's
see
got
something wide side
two
here.
setbacks with 3 wideouts. They're going to give it right up the middle again, and that ain't nothing doing.
Spangler.
Oh, man, that was plugged up. I'm not sure he even made the line of scrimmage. Boy.
Well, I think if you give this defensive line, Spangler, Weimer, Cifuentes, some time, these guys are going to get dialed in, and that is tough to run inside against Liberty Center with those 3 and these linebackers flowing the way they are.
It's tough to do
Yeah.
it consistently, that's for sure.
El
They might get a
Toro
play
takes
here or
up
there.
a lot of room in the middle, and that just helps those tackles. All right, motion back to the ball. Straight drop.
Blitz,
Sets
there's
up
your
a
screen. Yep.
And he's got him wide open
Oh,
down
no.
the sideline. Makes a cut
Get a
to the
cut.
outside, and it's going to be a gain of about
And that
20
was a
yards
nice
for
design
Oak Harbor,
play.
and they're in Tiger territory.
Let's see that one again,
Yeah,
Cole,
I
if you
think
get a chance.
Six was on the right wing there. Where'd he come out
I
of?
know. That's
Came
the
across the
the hard
He
part
went
about
in
the
motion,
screen
I
game.
think.
Is it comes from multiple
Yeah,
directions.
I don't know where he came from.
See if we
Where's
can get-
6 lined up at here? Oh, he came in
Came in
motion. You're
motion.
right, and then he just right underneath there. Yep.
Wow.
That's tough, Rob.
Boy, that's tough when they run that underneath. That's tough to pick up sometimes, as we just saw well. So Oak Harbor now at the Tiger 37 with a 1st and 10. 2 wideouts to the far side, out of the gun. Straight drop, throws, got a man out there, and knocked away. Coming across was the center fielder, Moeller, the safety, and helped knock that ball away. That looked like it could be a leaping catch down there at the 20-yard line.
Well, we saw a little bit last week, Thomas playing that center field with an interception, a couple big hits. You're going to loft it up across the middle. That's kind of where he's roaming. Nice break on the ball that time.
Spike, that's about 3 or 4 balls in Isaiah right now, and he's holding up pretty well.
Oh,
out there.
yes.
He's doing a really nice job.
You were spot on. Our defensive backs have really improved. All right, 2nd and 10 from that same 37-yard line with a spread formation. Straight drop, looks. He's
Ooh,
going to
he
throw
got
it
it.
all for
They're
the
just
end zone.
throwing
One
it.
man down there, and the
Oh.
Tigers converge, and 4 people
got a
help, 3
flag.
people help knock that away.
I got a hold, or what do we got?
Gary Cruz with the pressure that time,
Gray.
right in Porath's face. He could not really step into that one. Hopefully we're not getting
I don't know what.
hit on the quarterback.
Another ineligible man downfield.
Interesting.
Eligible man downfield.
Wow.
You know,
wow.
kind of surprised with this down the field passing attack so far. Oak Harbor's really
Something different.
What do you do?
When you-
Take the 5 yards, or do you play down?
Well, we'll see. It looks like Casey's taking the down. 3rd down and 10 here.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
okay.
when they started that play, it almost looked like they were going to set up a screen. So I don't know if they did something else and why they had a man
Well,
downfield.
I think Spangler stopped in his tracks. I think he
I think
detected
they
the
were-
screen, and
yeah,
I think
and
that
I think
threw
he
him
just
off.
threw it. I think
That's
they
how
had a
the
screen
linemen were
called.
downfield, but ready to block for the screen.
That's what it looked like.
All right, Tigers show that same 3 tough man front. Quarterback out of the gun, 5 wideouts, back
Oh,
to throw,
no.
has to scramble.
Lot of
He's
space
got
here.
some
Not
time.
what he likes to
Running
do.
room heading
Oh,
and
boy.
slides short of the first down.
Business
That'll
decision.
bring up about 4th and 2 down around the 30.
Well-
Now the cheese gets a little more binding.
Yeah, it looks like they're going quick here. Braden Porath, not one to known for running much, but nice little escapability
Yeah.
there. Probably, I would have liked him to pick up the first down there if I'm Oak Harbor, but
yeah.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
fourth
get
and manageable.
4th and 1.5 here.
All right, they're going to go for it.
Let's watch the snap
White
count
out
here.
to either side, but with 2 setbacks. Motion back to the football. He goes through, and now they wait.
You're going to get a timeout here. I think,
7
Spike.
seconds on the play clock. And
They're gonna
Oak
think this one
Harbor,
over.
I
Big
believe,
play
will
early.
take a timeout. 5:18 to go here in the first period. Liberty up 7-0, but Oak Harbor threatening with a 4th and 2.
Hey, once again, we want to welcome our Oak Harbor people. You know, we've got a lot of comments. People are watching out there. We appreciate that. All of our Liberty people, you know, we've got a few thousand people online right now watching this game. And it's, tell you what, the interesting thing for me is the stadium is full. The parking lot was full at 5:30. You know, this matchup between these two teams is becoming very storied.
Yep.
And I think Oak Harbor is looking for a little redemption here. Liberty Center would like to keep the train rolling. But we appreciate everybody viewing us here on Tiger Sports Live. And we'll bring you as many games as we possibly can. You know, Jigs, guess what? I started the winter schedule.
That's crazy.
We're already scheduling basketball.
and wrestling, and
Wrestling,
man,
bowling.
bowling.
We cover it all. So check lctigersportslive.com for all the schedule updates.
Bringing the games to the people. You got to love it.
Hey, big play here, guys. 4th and 2.
Yes, sir.
Oak Harbor picks this up. They run some more clock.
Absolutely.
And that's what they want to kind of do is play keep away from Liberty. You saw how explosive we are when we get the ball. It can be 1 or 2 plays, and it's over quick here. So.
All right, so the Rockets come to the line of scrimmage. 4th down and 2 from the 30. They're going to give it off that left side.
No.
Pounds
No,
right
he
into
didn't
the
do
middle
it.
of
He
it.
didn't
I
get
don't
it.
think he made it.
Was
The Liberty
that
Center Tigers
Walker
stop
again?
him right there.
Wow. What a stop there that time at Liberty Center. What we've talked about, how hard it is to run inside against that defensive line and linebackers. And, boy, they snuffed that thing out, stuffed it.
Was that where it came from? The linebackers?
I don't know if that-
ended
if
up-
that was
Max ended
Walker.
up with the finish, but I don't. Someone else was
Maybe
in there early.
Cifuentes underneath.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a big stop.
The tackle on the far side, I know he crashed down hard to help Dippy. All right, so the Tigers hold. They've got a 1st and 10 at their own 30. Now Gary comes up, takes a flanker position. Tigers with a double. Little out to caught by Gray. Next a spin to the outside, caught at the 35. Breaks one tackle, still going. Shaw under there, bangs another. Bangs down all the way to the 45-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 21 yards. And the Tigers now in Rocket territory.
Well, there's a big-time cushion that time. You can't give 15 yards to Ethan Gray because he's just too athletic. He's catching. He's going to break a tackle and do exactly what you did that time. We'll see if Oak Harbor's secondary adjusts. You just cannot give up that much cushion.
All right, Moeller on the right. In the backfield, Tigers show a hot formation to this side. They're going to give it to
Big
Moeller
hole.
on that
Big
power
hole.
play.
Max
Moeller
Walker.
running room, splits 2
Yeah,
tacklers.
Henry.
Bangs his way
Kick
down
out.
to the 30-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 16 on the play.
Well, you saw your guard action that time. Henry first, then Max coming around.
Yep.
Those guys play so well. They led that thing up. Nice little gain.
Henry had a nice kick out. Max peeled in, got the linebacker, and Kellen Ilonizek had that side collapsed.
Schweigert is out tonight. Something to note. He's in street clothes. Deacon Schweigert.
All right, so Crime Brink under center. Give on a dive to
Good
Moeller.
cut.
Moeller cuts to the outside. Now straight
wait
arm.
for your
Now
block.
bangs through toward tacklers. Pink banging, pounding
Wow.
inside the 15-yard line. It'll begin 18 yards, and the Tigers with another first down.
Well, that's a straight dive that time. Spike straight ahead, and Thomas with a great cutback to see that wide open. We had some great downfield blocking. And
He actually ended up running Baxter's downfield trying to get a block for him. They kind of crossed paths there a little bit.
Well, we're starting to see the Liberty Center run game kind of taking its toll early. I didn't expect it to be this easy this early.
All right, Tigers with a spread formation. 3 over here, 1 to the far side. Single setback, Crime Brink out of the gun. Has time. Throws a hard one over the middle.
Yeah, he was early.
And there's going to be
he
some pass
early.
interference over there at
He
the
didn't need to
5-yard
be, but he
line.
was.
Ethan Gray was targeted, and a collision right before the ball got there. That was tight, but
You're seeing that.
a good call.
You're seeing the pass game, concerted effort to continue to pass the football. You know, if we continue to make progress in the playoffs, there's going to be games where we're going to have to pass the football. You cannot just run at people. There's going to be
It's been a
some
clean
tests.
pocket tonight, Jigs. We
It-
talked
it
about
sure
that.
has.
He
I'll
can
tell you
beat you
what,
with that clean pocket.
no doubt.
We throw 20% of the time, but in practice, we probably practice throwing the ball 40 to 50% of the
Wow.
time. Believe me, it's a weapon that's latent. It's hiding under the surface, but it's ready to strike. All right, 3:45 left here in the first quarter. 7-0 Liberty Center. They run with a double wing package, single setback, Crime Brink under center. Motion that way with Gary.
Reverse.
Little cross butt.
Barrett, nice
Barrett
ball.
into the end zone. It's
There
a
you
Tiger
go.
touchdown.
Man,
Wow.
I love that inside reverse when it
Yeah.
works the way it's supposed to. You get all that flow going on the pitch, and then inside handoff back to Baxter. He saw the green, smelled it, got in there.
After the extra point, we've got our sideline shot of this thing.
Nice.
Wait till you guys see this thing.
Baxter actually cut that up early from where the hole was supposed to be, but that was a great read by Baxter to get there, put it in the end zone untouched.
Kruger the center. Good snap, good hold by Crime Brink. Walker on the way. Good! Walker pounds it through a high, majestic end over end arching kick, and the Tigers take that 14-0 lead. Well, you know, we saw 2 different types of offensive plays. We saw the power play where they gave it, everybody was lined up in an overloaded line to this side of the field. They gave it to Moeller, and he had all kinds of blocking, went through there, and then we come back and we see that inside
That's
reverse
right.
with Gary motion going the other way. You figured the play going there, and the Tigers run this stuff to perfection.
And here I go running my mouth, and the replay.
We don't got the
didn't pick
replay?
it up, but
All right, next time.
I can promise you, it was really cool. I was watching it.
You know, something else to mention on those, that's a fake sweep to number 30. We've talked about defensive keying on Garrison Cruz, number 30, having linebackers' eyes. So you get eyes going to 30 on a fake pitch one way,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you get that inside reverse. That's why that play is so effective when it is executed, and that time executed for a nice Liberty Center touchdown.
We're controlling the line of scrimmage right now,
No
Jigs.
doubt.
That's
No doubt.
big.
I expected Oak Harbor's defensive line to give us a little bit more of a test.
Yeah, we're getting a nice push.
We
up
are.
there. Guards are playing really
Okay,
well right
here's
now.
Walker's approach. High end over end. That's going to come down at the 1-yard line. Return right up the hash mark. Looking for a seam. Breaks one.
Ooh, nice
Boy.
hit there. Who was that?
Walker.
The kicker.
Jake Way stopped him, and Walker coming
Old
just
crew,
paced him.
too. I think it was, Max Walker and JT finishing him off there.
Cole Spangler, 25.
Well, this kickoff team, it is must-see TV. Just never know when a big hit's coming, and they got another good one there.
You know, Brody Jakeway in practice has a smile on his face all the time. But that kid's a hitter.
Oh, yeah.
Don't take
He's
that
got a
smile
motor.
to mean anything. All right, so a spread formation. Back to throw. time. He'll loft it up there again. Man there, and that's going to be picked off by the center fielder, Moeller. Moeller finally hits, spins through one, drives and pulls another one, and the Tigers have the football at midfield.
You can see that play develop, and you can see the receiver take a peek to see who was there. This is not what they usually do, and Liberty Center just sending one-man routes. Liberty Center got a guy in center field, picks it off.
Yeah, we're going to see it. I mean, Thomas plays a great center field, and you cannot loft balls up across the middle against this defense, or it's going to turn into turnovers, and those turn into points a lot of times. I'm kind of surprised. They've had success running the football.
They've got him caught off balance. Tigers run a power
Big
sweep
hole.
to Gary. Gary follows a
Big
block,
hole.
breaks
Whoa.
for one. He's going to be
Bye-bye.
out in front of everybody. One man left at the 10, a straight arm there. No way, baby. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown. 54 yards away. Bingo, baby.
Well, this quick strike offense for Liberty Center, how many times have we seen it this year? Turnover, boom, 1, 2, 3 plays, touchdown. That's exactly what happened there. This is how this offense can get on you so fast.
Yeah, you cannot turn the ball over. You're going to get that real quick.
Yeah,
Wow.
going back, just they've had success running it.
They've had
Keep
some really
running.
nice gash runs.
And that's good again. Back into what used to be Treva Stevens over the fence into her backyard. And the Tigers now up 3 scores, 21-0.
Treva Stevens, Spike. How many years are you going back here?
She was the four owners ago. Was she
Oh, yeah.
I think a couple bakers have owned it.
That's awesome.
Well, her son Richard was in my class of school. So
There you go. So
What year was that, Spike?
a long time ago.
37.
Four score
Yeah,
and 7
four
years
score.
ago.
1937. Oh, that's hilarious. No, guys, going back here, I mean, Oak Harbor, they've run the ball. They've had some nice, successful runs. In watching film, I've not really seen a vertical passing game like this. Just chucking it down the field. I'm not.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of a mystery to me because
Yeah,
I'd
I don't
expect
get
them
it
to try
either.
to pound it forward, get your 3-4 yards, shorten this clock, and I think they can do some of
And
that.
the Canadian Mafia's up there just shoving fries and gravy all over everything. And I have to say, again, I have to say this every week. They are not really the Mafia. It's just what I call them. People are like, why are you guys talking about the Mafia?
Well, go ahead and soothe your throats, boys.
Molson Canadian.
All right, here's Walker. That's a little bit shorter, hangs a little higher, but that's going to push him all the way back to the 5-yard line. Return toward the left sideline, the far away there.
Oh, big hit, Max Walker.
Man, holy
Whoa.
mackerel. He delivered
My gosh.
a hammer blow.
He's the kicker.
Oh, my. You know what doesn't Max Walker do for
That's
you?
a little
Yeah.
Bobby Boucher
Holy
for you there.
smokes. Can we see that again, Cole, or is that too late? Whoa, that was an explosion.
Hey,
Here we go.
Watch
Watch
the
number
kicker.
50. He's a
smelling
man
it.
back.
Here he goes.
Oh, my. Oh, he's even slowing it down, Cole.
He's just kind of setting his leap here.
Get your head across. Oh, man, that's an explosion. Max Walker, what can
Look at
he
that.
not do for you?
Boom, boom, bombing on the engineer
That was,
side.
hey,
man.
Cole, great replay there. Fantastic.
All right, 3:07 left here in the first period. Oak Harbor sets up at their own 32-yard line. Double wing package. Handoff
Oh,
coming
boy.
the other way, and the
Flowing.
Tigers swarm to that. That's going to be a 3-yard loss. Smackarito!
Well, Lonzac,
Yeah.
you know, these guys start seeing some of these plays and get on some of these blitzes, and that's exactly what you're going to see, some negative plays. That guy can blitz with anyone.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that Max Walker, that guy is so fun to watch. Isaac Orth now at a sniper. You're seeing Orth and Smith a lot in their snipers.
All right, fakes the handoff. Rolls
gonna get
Oh,
hit.
my.
Pressure,
Oh,
and
my.
he is whopped by Gary. Gary laid
Oh,
one
boy.
into him
Oh.
big time.
Man.
Wow.
I mean, listen, Gary Cruz is coming on a blitz, you know, against Braden Porath, 6'1", 140, and Gary is 6'3", 220. That is like hitting a Mack truck.
Yeah,
There
he's not going
should
to want to
be-
take too many more of
Oh.
those here.
There should be a state proclamation against
Whoa.
sending Gary Cruz.
I think we're
going
to see that one again. Let's see it. Oh, boy, you're going to see this
Watch
one right
this.
in his face.
Shot.
Ooh, man.
And he made sure he backed
Yeah.
off.
Oh, boy.
All right, back to throw. 3rd down and 14.
Oh,
The
he had
throw
him.
just behind the intended receiver, wide open at the 40.
Yep.
That would have been a first down. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And once again, I want to give credit AJ Fairchild, our
That was
sideline
super.
cameraman.
Yeah, that was great.
Just coming through with some great shots.
Yeah, Braden
Give
Porath.
that guy a raise. Will you? That was a great shot.
I already renewed his $0
I
contract.
like it. Like to see that receiver kind of sit that down that time.
They had a chance to get a
Had
first,
a little in that
run
zone.
some clock. Oh,
Nice
no.
snap.
Oh, no.
Went up and got it. That
Cole
was
got a
partially
piece. He
blocked.
did.
I believe that was
Spangler, Cole Spangler.
Cole Spangler got a hit fist on that, and it's going to be a 15-yard punt. Liberty Center will take over in Oak Harbor territory.
Not what Oak Harbor wants with us on their 45 to start the ball. Start the
Boy,
drive here.
No.
The momentum. I hate the word momentum in football, but they were pinned back at their 5. They moved the ball, got a couple first downs, were looking good.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden, look at the score.
Well,
I mean,
it can just happen so fast
Wow.
with this Liberty Center offense.
Tigers with a wing left. Now motion that way with Gary. 2 wide outs to the far side. Moeller on the right
We're
with
gonna hit a home run
Kreinbrink
here,
in the
Jakes.
I
backfield.
think so.
Kreinbrink fakes it to Moeller. Over the middle is
just
Gary.
dropped.
Caught it. Went up in the air. Broke one
still
tackle.
home run.
Banged in another.
Oh,
Throws out
boy.
a straight
All
up.
right.
Just tripped up at the 25. Down at the 22-yard line. A 22-yard gain on some electrifying power running.
You know, that's why sometimes it's so important to give Gary, Lonzak, these guys ball in space because they can break tackles and they can break it at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Gary can hit a home run when he gets it 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So
That's right.
it's still.
Wow. All right. Tigers now in a standard wing T set. They'll shift out of that. Mason Smith moves over to a tight end on the right with a double wing package. Now motion back this way. Single set, give off to Moeller. Moeller pounds straight ahead. He'll pick up about 3 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
I like Caden Kreinbrink tonight. He's been very efficient.
Yeah.
Throwing the football. Looks a little bit more comfortable. You mentioned upright, not a lot of pressure. He's got plenty of time to throw the football tonight. He had some pressure last week against Archbold. Nice to see the offensive line get that cleaned up.
All right. Isaiah Badenhop spread out wide to the far side. Double wing package of Barrett.
Single coverage up top.
Way out over here. Mason Smith. They're going to give it on a power to Gary. Gary, excuse me, end run, and he's into the end zone. It's another Tiger touchdown. A little bit of a jet sweep motion, and Gary simply followed the blockers. What a wall. I mean, he had no problem. Liberty Center sealed
Here it
that
is
off.
again,
We're gonna
guys.
see that
Mike, you
again.
watch this. They almost have it, and Gary just kind of watch this acceleration right here. Boom. See ya.
Yeah, wow.
You
Another
got
gear.
You got some corners and
blocking.
safeties
There
that
you go.
just
Here it is
Yeah.
again.
don't really want to tackle.
Right
What?
at our sideline.
Look at
camera.
Henry. Henry getting him on body there.
Not
Boom.
interested.
No.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
What do we say? A couple
Also-
good business decisions
Yeah,
made there.
Lar also
We've seen
getting
a
out
few.
in front of that sweep, and now that kick was good. 28-0 with a minute to go here. Period number 1. I have never seen Liberty Center's offense work as proficiently, so magnificently as what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, no, Spike, you're right. I mean, watching film, I did not expect this game to be 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. You thought Liberty Center's offensive line could probably wear this Oak Harbor
Yeah.
defense down over time, but not this early. I did not expect these gash runs, big holes in the defense to just absolutely dominate.
We've got a moment. Deegan Schwager is out yet tonight with that concussion. He
Yes.
was cleared by the doctor last Monday.
Okay.
But the whole thing was they still wanted him out for another week, and that
Yeah.
it depends on the type of concussion.
Yeah,
it
and that
was.
stemmed from a play at the Archbold game where his helmet actually came off.
Yes.
Was that it?
Yeah,
Yes.
his helmet actually came off in a play, and he was basically buried in the line of our line of scrimmage, and his helmet came off. So
Yeah, he actually participated mildly
Okay.
in practice this week, but it was no big deal. Now another boomer, holy mackerel, that's going to go over his head, hit at the goal line, and the ball will come out to the 20. So another touchback. Walker he's a linebacker, he's a guard, he's a tackler, and now he's a kicker. Gee, the man can do anything.
So like big possession here for Oak
Yes.
Harbor. They need to kind of weather the storm here, a big storm. See if they can't get something going offensive. They've had a couple drives and stalled out here. They got to get something going here quick. Still time to run the ball too.
Out of the gun, a little bit of
There
an
it is.
inside reverse, cuts it outside. Great block there, and the Tigers give up big yardage. Gray comes over, takes him out with a great shoestring tackle down up around the 45-yard line.
Well,
25-yard gain.
Well, that's why we say don't go away from the run yet. They've had some success running inside on that zone blocking scheme where that number 2 can kind of pick his hole. Nice little run play that time for Oak Harbor.
And then instead of throwing the home run ball, like I like to call it, just dump the 5-yard thing out there.
Yeah.
A little out or a little curl in.
Controlled
Stuff.
offense.
All right, out of the gun. 2-step drop, has pressure.
Good
Caught
play,
out there.
JT.
That's the kind I'm
JT.
talking about. Caught up near the 50.
Stay ahead of the sticks, 4 yards. But good play by JT coming up and make the tackle. Spike, they can still run the ball here. There's a lot of games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the problem they're going to have is can they stop us? You know, I don't know if they can go tick for tack here.
Right.
They're going to have to get a stop or a turnover or something, but they still plenty of game here.
That was a great job by JT all over that route from the sniper position.
All right, 2nd down and 6. Oak Harbor at their own 49-yard line. 2 wide outs to the far side. Give straight up the
Walker.
middle. The Tigers
Walker.
are having nothing to do with
Cifuentes,
that.
Walker.
Yeah,
I believe
Max Walker is just roaming the backfield
Spangler.
tonight
Yeah.
in this run game. Man, that guy is having a heck of a night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guard, kickoff,
Yeah,
you
that
name
was
it,
wide
everywhere.
in there, yeah.
All right, that's the end of one here. Liberty Center up big, 28-0. We'll be back after we hear from our sponsors.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
Yeah.
All right, we're back here getting ready. Hey, a couple scores. Archbold's down 10-0 right now. Perkins is up 14-0 on Archbold, and Fairview and Paulding are tied.
Okay.
That's going to be the
That's a wild
a battle.
ruling game. That could end up 40-40 and 3 overtimes.
and could be 11 o'clock tonight before it's over.
3rd and 8 is not a good spot for Oak Harbor here.
All right,
Screen,
so we got
do.
trip
Watch
receivers
screen.
to the wide side, straight drop, has
Step.
time, lost
Got
it
him,
over
got
the
him.
top, got him,
Oh.
overthrown just slightly, had his man beat, and the coaches
Eric
letting
Weimer's
Wanizak
chasing
know.
him down.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good throw there by Braden Porath.
Yeah, that's
gave
two
his
straight
running
third
back
downs.
gave his running back a chance, just couldn't quite bring it in for Blake Nickel. He got behind Lonizak there.
Yeah.
The play kind of came together, just couldn't connect.
They've had 3 passes, would have been completed, just a half a bubble off the mark.
Yeah.
Now back to punt.
Ooh, Spangler, I
Short,
think, might have got it
spiral.
again.
Yep, what a great bounce
out.
picked up
Look
there
out.
by Isaiah.
out.
Isaiah
One.
banks through one, breaks a tackle, still going up the
Nice.
sideline.
Nice.
Carries 3 more up to the 30-yard line. Terrific return there by Isaiah.
You know, Isaiah has shown a lot of courage fielding that ball. Defender right in front of you, in your face.
Kind of fearless out there.
I don't know that I would do that, but
Jigs,
man,
going
great
back
job.
to that 3rd down play for Oak Harbor, you think they watched a little Archbold film?
That's
I mean,
right.
That was a very similar running back, up the sidelines. Now, he might have turned that up, kind of improvised play there.
Yeah.
But
No, you're
All
right.
right.
Good point.
I just got a message from somebody in Rome
Whoa.
watching the game. It's
Right.
1 a.m.
Nice.
in Rome.
win in Rome.
All right, crime print, low
Roll.
snap, fields it, out of the gun, got a man wide open coming out of their crossing route, and it's Lonzak grabbing it up at the 33, plus yardage.
I think he slipped. I don't know if he got tackled.
I think you're right, because if he didn't
I think
slip,
he's going.
he might have been off to the races. Not a lot of.
Good, well, it was a good read by the defender.
It was. He was
Yeah.
there.
He caught up, but But good job there, nevertheless. Kreinbrink, good job to get back his stability there after the low snap. Now out of the straight eye. Wow, give to that third back. Nothing doing there, and Oak Harbor, wow, surrounds that one, knocks him back for a 2-yard loss.
Spike, Max Walker snapped that ball, and Hunter was at guard.
Yeah, it was, and Bachman
was
in
at
there.
tackle. Yeah,
Yeah.
can we see that again at some point?
Hey, I
don't know
didn't
if-
catch all that.
Yeah,
Wow.
they had the big guy right there. It looked like.
Interesting.
Let's see what they do here. Hunter went back to center. I'm telling you, Max snapped that ball.
All
Wow.
right, now Liberty Center with a 3rd and 8 at their own 30. 10 and a
Wildcat.
half to go. Now they'll reset.
Staying in
Moeller will move to the left. And the Tigers with a power side over here at the right. Look out.
Oh, he
No
fumbled
bobbled.
it.
And
Yeah.
Gary out of the Wildcat picks it up, recovers, but it's going to bring up 4th down. And so a little bit of
Kreinbrink was a receiver out here on our side.
Back-to-back plays. Ryder Lindsey, number 60. Looks like he's blitzing there from his linebacker spot. Made a couple nice plays. The last
Gary
two
looked like he
possessions.
was running there before he caught the ball.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
they work on that Wildcat.
Yeah.
You think it's a trick play, yeah, but they work on it a lot in practice. I'm surprised it wasn't executed well.
Yeah,
Whether they
Oak Harbor
make the
didn't have
first
enough
down
people
or
on the
not.
field.
Oh.
They take a timeout. Yeah, I think they call that I know junior high or freshman, whatever they call it, monster.
Okay. Yeah, they Harbor there. Yeah, I don't know if we can go back to that and see that one, but I'm telling you, Max snapped that ball on 2nd down.
Yeah, no, we don't have it.
No, that's all right.
Weird.
Yeah,
Just trying to
I
get
could
heavy?
be wrong.
Just
yeah,
trying to get
I
heavy
think they had
on one side?
Weimer and Spengler. Spengler was right guard. Took
Okay.
Max and Weimer came over. If
Yeah,
it
and
was
hit
Baki.
Bachman out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we got Foster out there along with
Former guard, you would
let's
see
see,
that stuff.
Murdoch
I don't
out
see
Yeah,
there.
that.
I saw
Tigers
that.
with their punt team in. Back to punt is Kreinbrink. And gets off a high,
What a
long
kick.
boomer.
Jeez.
That's going to come all the way back to the 30-yard line.
Nice
Fair
punt.
catch called for. 42 yards with no return. Very effective.
Yeah, he can really punt the football, and that's just another portion of the special teams is we continue on in this season to be able to flip a field on a punt here and there is so
Yeah.
important. So
Yes.
important field position when you get in tight games late in the year.
You go back and look, even Spike and Jigs, the last 3 or 4 years, and as far as field position, we've just dominated
Yes.
field
Yeah,
position.
good
where we
point.
get the ball and where the other team gets the ball, and that's huge in football.
All right, Oak Harbor out of the gun with a protector. They'll give it straight up the
Oh,
middle.
yeah.
Not
No,
much
nothing
running
doing
room
there. Walker,
And-
Navarre that time.
Yeah, Navarre come up with
Nice.
a big defensive play. No gain on the play.
And you see Bachman in there. It's nice. All of a sudden, you're starting to see some of the other people getting reps here too, which is one of the things that Coach Moeller just values.
Oh, yeah.
every week.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of a little bit. You got Dippy in the middle, old Toto, but it's changed up a little bit. Now play action, rolling out to his right. He's got time, dumps it out there, but dumps it too low. It's caught, but
Nope.
no gain on
Incomplete.
the play.
Incomplete. Yeah, he waved it off.
Forget
Yep.
what it mattered.
Great coverage that time. Liberty Center secondary. There was no one open. Poreth had nowhere to go with the football.
Ooh.
Great job there by the secondary Liberty Center.
All right, so Oak Harbor facing a 3rd and 10.
This is not, once again, 3rd and long. You don't want to be there.
Now,
against
last
this
time
defense.
they had a guy, and he just didn't sit down in the
That's right.
zone, kind of miscommunication with the quarterback. We'll see what they look for the middle of the field here. Let's see what they do.
All right, empty
Go back to
backfield.
Liberty, man.
There's your
Now
screen.
throws it to the opposite way,
There's your
kind
screen.
of a
Look at
baby
Dippy.
screen. Gets one
Nice
block.
job by
But
Ethan
what a
Gray.
job there. Wow, what a recovery. That was
Ethan Gray.
Ethan Gray.
A couple score updates. Liberty Benton 28, Norway 0.
I think Liberty Benton is the real deal.
Yep, Genoa over Port Clinton right now. I didn't see the score. 21-7. And Archbold is still down. Oh, they're up. I'm sorry. I said they
Uh-oh,
were down.
over his head.
The snap over his head. He's
Badenhop,
all the way back
ooh,
to the
stuck.
2-yard line.
Touchdown.
Ball loose.
Can you advance it?
Isaac Orr.
It's recovered
Isaac
by the
Orr.
Liberty
In the end
Center
zone.
Tigers in the end zone.
Wow.
It's a Tiger touchdown.
Great
Boy,
play.
they just come at you every angle from
Brady.
every way.
Brady Badenhop, great job to pursue that thing. He put a stick on the punter that time, and Orth there to gobble it up for the easy touchdown.
Hey, I'm going to apologize to all the Archbold Blue Street fans. I said they were down 10. They were up 10. They're
Okay.
up 17-0
All
over
right,
Seneca
okay.
East
That
right
sounds
now.
more like it.
Yeah.
That's another thing you can't do.
Is open
against
my
Liberty
mouth?
Center.
Oh,
No, Mark.
That also,
Thanks,
Mark.
Jigs.
You,
Thanks.
you can't
Your
snap
contract just
it.
got renewed for 5 years, buddy.
Wow, Walker just bounced that on one hop off the metal building. What a booming
He's
extra
just
point
showing
kick.
off, Max.
Good thing we didn't have the
8:20
drone
left
in the
second.
air over there.
Well, I think I expected a little bit more of a test here tonight from Oak Harbor. You know, I do think they were outmatched a little bit for this
Right.
Liberty Center team, but you're seeing some. You just can't have plays like that, negative plays.
No,
Well-
that's 2 snaps now where they've just a bobble and a block, give us the ball at
Yeah.
the 40, and then that for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not so much judging Oak Harbor's performance on their merit, but
Yeah,
maybe
correct.
judge Liberty Center on
That's
the
true, Spike.
almost near perfection of
They're
theirs.
playing a really clean and nice game right
We
now.
talked about them maybe having a hangover from the, from the week off, and that has not been the case. They have come out ready to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a few senior leaders
Well.
that were not letting that happen
No.
all week long.
I bet
believe
you
me.
one was number 50.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of having a game here tonight.
Maybe.
Yes, he is.
Long kickoff, line drive, bounces at the 5. It'll go on through, and Oak Harbor will take the ball at the 20-yard line.
You know, I know they let that ball bounce, but what was it Archbold game or the week before where they let it bounce and it took a hop straight up in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
It
like,
was
or, maybe,
Archbold.
or it might have been Evergreen too. They did that where they let it bounce and it went straight up in the air, and it's like he's jogging off the field, and they're like, "Go get it!"
Oh, yeah, that was the Evergreen game. That's right. Well, Max's leg he can pin you, or he can put it within the 5 and make you return it. And it's not, you can't understate how important his leg is to this football team.
All right, so Oak Harbor with 2 wideouts to the far side. They're going to run that little kind of a half delay up the middle. Nothing doing there. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Jack Ward flowing in on a tackle there.
Ooh.
I didn't know who else was there, but
Mark that name down, Jigs.
you got the
You
freshman.
mark Jack Ward's name down.
Freshman
You-
getting in here in the 2nd quarter of this football game. Continue to like what you see out of him. Big hole there.
Fake it,
Someone
straight up
got
the
a
middle.
hand on it. Was that Navarre slowed him up? Big gap there, big hole.
You take out a bunch of great guys and you bring in 50, 60,
Yeah.
and
Well,
75.
you were talking earlier about Bach. Isn't it nice to have Navarre and Bachman to give Weimer and Spengler a little
Yeah,
break?
absolutely.
That's a 6'5" sophomore. It weighs about 260, and Navarre probably goes 220.
Yep.
Now, Jack Ward, which number is he?
69.
He's
No, I'll
wearing
tell you what.
69,
You write
okay.
that name down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a player.
All right, wide out to either side. Motion. Back through the football. Play action. Rolling right. Has a man out
got
there,
him.
and that's going to
Good
be
route.
caught up there
That was
near
good
the
throw, good
40-yard line.
route.
That'll be more than enough for a 1st down, and Oak Harbor will move the chains.
That is a tough play to guard Jigs to cover out there for Ethan.
Yes, it
Looks
is.
like he might have slipped a little bit on his break coming back. He had a pretty nice read on it, and then he kind of slipped. Good throw by the quarterback, though. Good route.
One of them comeback routes. That's what Ethan's done so well
Yeah.
for us on 3rd and 4th down of those comeback routes, and they're really tough for corners
It
to
is tough to cover.
stay in front of.
All right, double wide out to this side over here. Guard Spangler and
Oh, boy. Ooh.
yeah, Sonnenberg.
Thought we had one.
Isaiah, the little dip and do back inside, caught for about 6 yards on the play.
Sonnenberg
Sonnenberg.
thought about it.
Yeah. Well, he kind of had the inside man on that and kind of went with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Can't fault out that they did anything wrong, but yeah, if he would have looked that up, oh boy, could have been going for 60 the other way.
All right. Hot formation to this short side of the field. They're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
give it right up the middle. Forget about that. That play goes
Dip.
nowhere.
Jackson.
Cifuentes, Lonzak, all over it. Dippy is just a load inside to
Yeah.
handle all game long. He's just got such a wide base, got that wrestling background, and you can't move him. You just
No.
cannot move that guy.
No, and his
He's
pad
like-
level's always low.
Yeah.
where
He's
it's
not
supposed
like a
to be.
house tree. He's a double wide trailer.
He's having a big night.
Oh, he's had a big year.
He has.
He's been really good all year.
3rd down and 6 now. Motion. In front, going back, out
Oh,
of the gun,
boy.
rolling
That's a hold.
right.
That's a hold.
A lot of
Nothing.
pressure. Has to
Ooh.
get
Got a
rid
good
of it.
pick.
That's going to be picked
Yeah,
up again.
Ethan Gray.
Ethan Gray. Boom. Boy, running for his life. The pressure the Tigers have put on all night long.
And they're gonna-
forced another throw.
They're going to call that hold on Hunter Spangler.
Yeah.
Oh, did they throw
Uh-oh.
And, you know, Max Walker was coming too. He could have absolutely laid out the quarterback, and it probably would have been a late hit. Good job of Max to hold off, put the pressure on Ethan Gray. That guy, you know, he's got sticky hands. And what is that? Is that number 4 pick? Has he got 4 picks? Ethan?
it? Yeah, I'm
Got
not
a
sure.
three or
on that.
4,
Yeah.
man. He's a ball hawk back there.
Yeah.
He's having a great year from that corner position.
Only a junior, Jigs.
That's right. A lot of good juniors on this team, man.
Well,
I tell you, a lot of good sophomores and
Yeah.
freshmen. And
All right, so the Tigers with the ball at their own 46-yard line. Now
boy,
fumble
that's
picked
about
up,
3 plays in
It
a row.
is.
We've kind of bobbled a
Yeah.
snap here.
and Kreinbrink managed to get his way back to the line of scrimmage on a little ne'er-do-well type
know
of
if that
flip
was
and flop
bad or
and
if it
got
just-
over the top.
looked like it
Kinda
was a
slipped
little
through his
bit
hands.
low, but probably just took the eyes off that
Yeah.
time. Good job to just wrangle that thing and try to get back to line of scrimmage.
Well, Caden Kreinbrink's not a small guy either.
No.
So
Oh, no. I like to call him the fullback. All right, Tigers with a standard wing tee set to the left. Give first
Straight
back
dive.
through.
Good
That's
run.
running room for about 7 yards right up the middle. Mulder continued to grind and
Yeah.
carried 2 more tacklers.
Spike, he hits that hole on those dives so well. Thomas
Yeah.
is not – he's not your breakaway guy, but those first 7 to 10 yards, man, he is explosive.
Yeah, in that phone booth, he is such a good runner.
Yeah.
Short little cuts, good vision in there.
Yeah.
7 yards on a dive, I'll take it
Yeah,
all day.
All day.
All right, 3rd down. We'll call it 4 to go for Liberty Center. Sonnenberg wide out to this side, motion this way. They're going to give it to him. A jet
Barrett,
sweep
nice.
to Barrett. Breaks through, and his quickness buys him 8 yards and earns him a first down to the 40-yard line.
Well,
Gain
Baxter,
of 8.
I love Baxter's change of pace. He's got some good speed from that wing back position and getting the ball in those jet sweeps, inside reverses, and he gets on you pretty quick. He almost broke
Yeah,
that one.
He had one guy, good tackle there. I'm not sure who made it. But Baxter hit that hole real quick there. Put the head
3.5
down.
minutes left here in the second period. Tigers on the march at the 40-yard line of the Rockets. Wing T set to the right. Straight drop, little quick over the middle, and
almost looked like
well, you
that was
had,
tipped.
I don't know. I think he
Might have just knuckleballed that one.
Well, I look a little miscommunication. Either he threw it too soon or Ethan didn't break quick enough. I'm not sure what happened there.
I had a few of those back in my day. Just throw
Yeah.
it right in the dirt.
And that's when
Coach
they
looks at you and say, "What was that?"
That's when Brian would say, "We're just going to run a 15 power next, Coach." That's what I do.
I know the last name. All right, they're going to give it on another quick.
Big hole.
Nobody tackled.
Look out.
Cruz breaks
Oh,
one.
give
Just
44
tripped
credit.
up at the 25, or he may have had another breakaway. Wow. Battles forward down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 20 yards, and the Tigers moving the ball.
Well, Gary Cruz, we're going to see the replay here. Big hole initially, gets on the safety, breaks the tackle. The linebacker just able to get him down there. But, man, I love these on-the-field replays. Those are pretty sweet. Look at that blocking down the field that time, Navarre.
Yeah.
Wow.
You cannot let that
All
guy
right.
get his shoulder
Try
square.
and break under center, double wing package. Gary in motion. Now
Play
they're going to run
action.
play action.
Oh,
ball
he got it back
fumbled.
somehow.
Maybe
And
not.
No, he
the
didn't.
beanbag comes down. I think Liberty. No.
Yeah.
Oak Harbor
right.
recovers out near the 30.
You know, Caden just looked like he was kind of going to cut that thing up that time. Just bobbled it. Happens.
Yeah.
Unfortunate turnover that time, but we'll see if Oak Harbor can't just put a drive together here before the half and just try to take a little bit momentum into the halftime.
It's been two things. Liberty Center's pass rush has been terrific. Put a lot of pressure on him. At the PH game last week where they were upset by Carey, they were having a hard time throwing the football. He was just not accurate.
Yeah.
And I think part of the trouble is not Liberty's pass rush, but the quarterback just not perfect. You know, he's just not boom, 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 hitting the spots. And that combination of both of them makes a difference.
Yeah, Spike, going back, we've had Gary on the Wildcat and Kaden. I don't know if the ball's a little slick tonight. We've had a couple.
We have.
We haven't done that all year very much.
Not like this.
Probably
Like
four
that.
times. Four
Yeah,
times on the turf.
Little bobble. Even the first play we ran to Baxter in the first quarter there was a bobble on the handoff. So we'll clean that up, though.
All right, give
Oh, my.
up inside. Tigers converge on that at the line
Oh,
of
we
scrimmage.
got-
No
might-
gain.
we
Now
got
they
fumble.
say there's a fumble.
All they're saying
Tigers
is down
point to it.
far
Referee
line.
said
Boy, he got
no.
hit hard.
Can we see that one again, Cole? Gary come up with it. I don't know who got there first, but there was a convergence. We'll see that again here. No, sorry. Ooh, I don't know. It looks like that might have been a fumble.
All right, so we've got a timeout on the field. 2 minutes left here in the second period. Tigers on top, 35-0.
Hey, once again, check our schedule. We are getting the winter. We're not done with football yet, but we are getting the winter schedule up. Girls basketball will start this month. Yet, boys, I don't know that we've got a scheduled game until December. We'll get the wrestling schedule up. We've got bowling. I think next week we may have bowling and girls basketball. And we've got two brand new JV girls broadcasters.
Ooh,
Aubrey
nice.
Zeider, Kenzie Fuller.
There we go.
Our
yeah.
student,
There
our
we
students
go.
are going to take over the JV broadcasting
Awesome.
for the
Like
girls
it.
basketball.
Like it.
Gotta love it. Colin Tamarine is going to join us in the winter. He's going to do wrestling and wrestling
awesome.
interviews.
Oh, Colin.
So love our students.
What's the score on that? What's the score on that Liberty Benton game? We got a Liberty Benton update.
Liberty Benton is killing.
Ooh. Yeah, Liberty Benton's up big on Norway.
Fairview Paulding 7-7 in the
Okay.
second.
I'm telling you, Liberty Benton.
Jigs, we're not going to talk about Liberty Benton until the second half.
All right, double wide
We'll
out
see
to
how
either
this
side.
ends.
Has time, throws it high, a
Oh,
leaping
what a
catch
great
there at
job
the
by Six to
45-yard
come
line,
back to the
splits
ball.
defenders. And a gain of 17 yards. That's going to move the ball to midfield and a 1st and 10 for Oak Harbor.
Yeah, you mentioned Braden Poor has thrown some good
He
footballs
has.
tonight. He really has.
Yeah.
Just-
His receiver you watched that play. Six came right back to
did.
the ball, did a good job. Coverage wasn't bad. He just came back and made a play. See what happens here.
All right, now rolling to his left. Has to dump it out there. Caught.
Oh, he missed a
Flips
tackle.
one tackle.
That's
Now
not,
tries
this
to
kid,
angle straight across
He's
the
got wheels.
field.
He's got
Gray
wheels.
there with
That's
an
the
angle.
guy.
Catches up, but a gain of 15 yards and Oak Harbor moving the football. This is the type of attack we wondered about
That's right.
earlier. They got away. They wanted to throw the bomb, and now they're back to the short stuff and effective.
Yeah, poor Ath keeping his composure that time under pressure, dumped it off, broke a tackle, and nice little gain there, Oak Harbor.
5 wideouts.
for a
They're going to
screen
set up
here.
the
Hunter
screen.
Spengler.
Nice
Wow.
job there
Look
at the
by
big
Hunter
fella.
Spengler.
Yes,
Running
sir.
all the way
I'm gonna
and
tell you
brought him
what.
down after a 2-yard gain.
That's a heck of a play from Hunter Spangler.
He was just sitting there waiting for that play. Nice read.
You know what? He was doing the same thing last week, Archibald. You watched him
Yeah.
on them screens. He couldn't make every single play, but boy,
No,
he
he
read
was
them
there.
and he was trailing them. Boy, he made that play.
Spike, that goes back to what you talked about. They were working on the defensive line this week, and obviously they had that play scouted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
all
That was
over it.
part of the repertoire right
Yeah.
there. You saw it manifested in full living color.
Well, you see, that's twice now. They ran that trips left, and then they swing a guy out in motion. They try to run that screen the other way. So obviously that's a play they've ran quite a bit this year, and Hunter Spengler was not fooled by that.
Are you allowed to give multiple looks like that? That's not fair, is it?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
to
know.
show all these different things.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, we saw it a little bit with Archibald's screen game last week. They could just bring it from multiple angles and multiple guys coming from different sides. I mean, it can get pretty complex in the screen game, and it's one of those things. Like our run, you got to practice, you got to rep it, and Oak Harbor's got a great screen game. I really haven't seen much of that middle screen yet, though.
No.
To that H-back.
Yeah,
that was a big one in film that they've run a lot of. But you know what? Our defensive line, they've been recognizing and jumping
they're
all
reading
over
that
it.
screen soon. You know, like you said, even if they don't play, they're in the vicinity. If they slow them up a little bit, you got pursuit coming.
We got a little equipment issue here with
his knee pads.
Badenhop. So Foster will come onto the field. They'll replace him, and they've got something they want to check out.
Maybe a little blood or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
Must be. All right, second down and 10. The ball at the Liberty Center 34-yard line. Clock at 56
Here they
seconds. Here
come.
comes a blitz.
Here they come.
Has time. Got him off on
time.
a little crossing route.
Nice
but
job
grabbed
by
there
Foster.
by Foster and brought him down.
Good job. Hey, that's tough. We brought 5 or 6 guys there. Didn't get home. Good job by Foster there making the tackle.
Boy,
after
that's
the catch.
right. You got no help at all,
Yeah,
do you?
it's you.
You're in no man's
You're on
land.
your own, buddy.
Adam Foster, good job
Nice
there to
job.
hang with the receiver.
And that is blood on Badenhop, so his knee was bleeding.
All right, out of the gun. Rolling right.
You got 4 coming.
Has
Walker's
going
going to get him.
deep downfield. Here's a throw
he's
for
wide
the end
open.
zone. Wide open.
Yeah,
Hit.
touchdown.
Caught. Touchdown.
Well, we had to see the replay. I don't know if we had.
I think 6 kind of cleared the zone that time.
Yeah.
Everybody went with 6 and kind of left number 4 there in
was
the
he
corner. We're
dragging
going to
there,
see
Jigs? Was that what happened?
Yeah, everybody went with 6.
Yeah.
They didn't pass off right there.
No.
They did you're not supposed to do is have 2 guys going downfield in the same place, but then they broke off.
6
okay,
cut it
well,
off to almost an 8 route there. And
Oak Harbor
Forrest stayed
on the
it.
board here with move the football down the field quite efficiently, and 35-6 now.
Boy, good-looking passing attack. That
Yeah,
drive
that
there
was-
for Oak Harbor. That looked good.
You know, that's a big touchdown for them
Yeah,
here.
it is.
If they can hold Liberty with 28 seconds, that stops the running clock.
Going for 2 on
Ooh,
kind of a
nothing.
little quarterback draw, and that's going to go nowhere.
There's like
Stopped.
7 guys there.
You can't blame
I don't
Oak
know.
Harbor for going for 2.
I'm not sure that
on
I'm
that
going to
play
run up the
call
middle
no.
against us
Especially
on
just
that.
had 2 big pass plays, but
That's right.
Liberty snuffed that out.
You know, number 6, Wyatt Augsburger, that's kind of their go-to guy on the outside. He's made some nice catches tonight. And after the catch, he's fast. He's got some wheels, and you've seen him in some open spaces here. So Oak Harbor hanging around, not going away.
No, big score for them. Like I said, you know, this game's not over. There's another half of football, and if they can hold Liberty here from putting something in, you know, the running clock, that's big. We'll see.
That's why, you know, just like last week, 2 missed field goals, an interception, and a fumble from Liberty Center against Archibald. You just never know.
That's right. Well, that's why, you know, sometimes we talk about the podcast, even during the league games coming in, everybody's like, oh, well, you're playing this game up, playing this.
Yeah.
But you're really not.
You're not.
Because every week you've got to respect your opponent, and you've got to be ready to go. Or like last week, if you come in sleepwalking a little bit, team can get you at any time, especially now in the playoffs.
It happens every Saturday.
That's right.
Every Sunday.
That's right.
And it happens on quite a few Friday nights,
Yeah,
too.
we've seen it before. A play here, a turnover there, and all of a sudden you're in
Yeah.
a game, and it's, you know. Let's see if we can't get a explosive return here, Spike. Give us something to maybe work with about 20
we've got
seconds
some
left.
explosive return people.
Squid.
Left-footed kicker. It's going to bound and kick.
Go
Grab there at
go
the
Tatum,
30-yard line
Murdoch.
by Badenhop, I believe.
That was Murdoch, I believe.
Murdoch?
Tatum.
Yeah, Murdoch, yeah. Murdoch will be another one to keep an eye on next year.
We got a couple TOs here. Let's see if we can't take a shot
I
down the
think
field,
Casey's
get in
gonna
field
try
goal
to do
range.
something here. Like you said, at least get in field goal range.
But you know what?
Jigs.
We've also seen the run game pop a big one and score late in quarters and halves in the past.
You might see number 30 come out of the backfield somewhere here.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, you might
split
see
out
him
here.
on a little 8 cut down the middle. Let's see what happens.
Yep,
See
3
if they can get-
receivers to the wide side, single setback. They'll throw it, caught
low.
out there, and then drop.
Probably a good drop.
Yeah, he was all over that.
Yeah, they had that scouted. Maybe setting up a stop and go. I don't know what they had over
Could
top
be.
there. I still think you're going to see number 30 down the middle at some point here.
Yeah.
Not for the outcome of the game so much, but right now you're working on things in the heat of the battle that you want to work on farther down the road.
Yeah, you got Lonzak on the top by himself. I'd fade him up.
And that you could see that too. Not a bad option.
Nice
And
play there.
over the middle, caught
uh-oh.
by Gray.
Good cut.
Makes a
Get
move,
out of
cuts
bounds.
around one
Get out of
man. Now
bounds.
pins down there.
Great
Pins
job.
in and spins around another one. Bangs his way down inside the 45-yard line. Clock now stopped at 10 seconds. Gain of 17 for Liberty
Spike,
Center.
what do you think we need here to get in field goal range? Jigs, 10 yards? Does that put us in
Yeah,
field goal range?
well, Max has been close from 50,
Well,
right?
now you're
here.
looking at a 60-yarder.
Okay.
Tigers have 2 timeouts.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a run here. Get you that 10 yards set up a long one for Max.
Yeah.
I think they need
Or a little
closer
comeback.
to 20. So the Tigers set
Maybe
with
see
3
Ethan
wide
on that
receivers
comeback
here,
here it
rolling
is.
this way. Has
Got
time,
him.
gets it out there, throws it incomplete.
All right.
Badenhop was covered tightly there on his cut back on the slant and then cut back to the sideline.
You probably don't have time for a play in a TO here, right?
I
think
doubt
you do.
it.
That was 4 seconds.
You think
had
so?
to catch it and get down
Catch it and
call
get
a
out?
quick
Okay.
timeout. I don't know if we know that or
Something
not.
on the sidelines.
Yeah, that play, Caden rolling to his right, didn't get a chance to set his feet and
Yeah.
kind of airmail it there. Caden rolls to the left and throws that pass. He's really good. When he rolls to the right, he's got to get them feet set.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing across that body.
It's tough.
But
Tough to
once
do.
again,
Very tough
they
throw.
work on that a lot in
Yeah, it's a
practice.
tough throw.
across, you know.
We got a TO here.
All right, we got one here.
Yeah, we got it.
That's okay, though.
Yeah, it is.
You got one
You got one
left.
left. That's all you need.
I think Casey can tell him if you get a catch, get down, let's kick a field goal maybe.
Yep.
Unless you think you can get to the house. We'll see here.
I mean, you could also just chuck it, Hail Mary, and let's see what we got here.
I mean, I
Cranbrink's got the arm.
18.
We got some big boys down there that could go get it.
I
Right?
like
18, 30.
and 30 there. Yeah.
Or
For a jump
we
ball.
run a 30 track.
Well,
30
Well,
that's right.
18 and 30 are nice. 2 and 7 may not
Well-
be as tall. They're pretty good athletes.
Well, and Mason
themselves
Smith
here.
too.
Yeah.
You know, it's another target.
Yeah, we'll see
Taller
what happens
target here.
I'd put El Toro Cifuentes
Yeah,
a
Dippy.
fullback.
Get the
Let him-
dipster in there.
Let him barrel.
Did you,
You know-
happen to hear Dippy's interview on WNDH today? Anybody hear that?
No, I did not.
He
How'd
was
he do?
asking for a carry. That's what he said on the interview. When I asked
Well,
him
listen.
what got him ready, and he said it was baling hay this summer. Straight from the farm.
That interception last week, he was looking for contact.
Yeah.
You know, he had about a 10-yard return and trying to run guys over.
He's got a little scattaboo in him. There.
Yeah,
Looking for it.
scatapoo.
All right, so the Tigers set up. They've got trip receivers together over here on the right side. Empty
see what we got.
backfield. Kreinbrink back, has time.
no, that's not
now
what we wanted.
spins,
You gotta
throws
throw
a
it. You
straight
gotta
arm,
throw
has
it.
time. He'll
All
throw
right.
it for the
Got
end
it.
zone.
That's out of
It's going to
bounds.
be a dogfight.
Oh.
The ball tipped around, falls to the deck. That'll end the first half. Kreinbrink on a little bit of ballerina type moves, and then he threw a straight arm like a fullback.
Yeah.
Launched it and got it into the end
Spike, you
zone
go
for
watch that play.
possibility.
Ethan Gray was smart enough to have his feet set right on the sidelines there. He was going to catch it if that ball didn't get tipped. He was right there.
Yeah. All right, so Liberty Center using the steamroll tactics. They lead at 35-6 at the end of the first half.
All right, we're going to be right back after this halftime break.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Mr. Travis Magato and Mr. Madison Tech, the Beacon Zero Salem Local School District proudly presents the one, the only, the pride of Oak Harbor, the 2025 Oak Harbor High School Rocket Marching Band. First up, we kick off the evening with one of the most iconic rock hits of all time. Here is 25 or 6 to 4. Next, we lighten the mood with a beachside bop. Tonight, we feature our senior head majorette, the ever-dazzling Cameron Brown, as well as our drum line. Grab your surfboards because it's time for the Beach Boys Classic, Barbara Ann. Before our final number, we'd like to give a big shout out to the Liberty Center High School Marching Band seniors. Congratulations on a great year. Now we invite our senior class of 2026 to take center stage for a spotlight performance. With a touch of glamour and a hit of danger and plenty of attitude, they're serving up a showstopper that is as exhilarating as it is hypnotic. Beware, this next tune may be toxic. We thank you for your generous attention this evening. The Oak Harbor High School Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Travis Madison and Ms. Madison Tech. The auxiliary squad is advised by Troy Kitchen. The field commanders are Isabel Haynes and Madison Torres. The head majorette is Shannon Brown. The band choreography tonight are Addison Dusso, Aaliyah Dusso, and Tabitha Roberts. The drum break was written by Hannah Hardigan and Mr. Clark. Please check out our website at oakharborbands.com for more information. Good evening and go Rockets.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the marching pride of Tiger Country, the Liberty Center Tiger Marching Band. Our first song this evening was released in 1986 on the hit soundtrack from Top Gun. Hold on tight as the band takes you on the highway to the danger zone. From Major Carla Norway, is your band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the Tiger Marching Band. For our next hit, we would like to congratulate the Oak Harbor Band on their outstanding marching season and wish them continued success. Remember, don't be flat, be sharp. This German band release reached number 25 in the U.S. in 1984 and helped the Scorpions sneak their way onto the U.S. charts and was named 18th greatest hard rock song of all time. Hold on to your seat as the band rocks you like a hurricane. The Final Tune was released in 1984 as well, and the theme song for a movie with the same name. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. This iconic song immortalized Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston. We're going to call Ghostbusters.
Mic checking here.
Well, welcome back here. Coming out of halftime, Liberty Center 35-6 up on Oak Harbor. Going through some stats of that first half. Oak Harbor. Porath 11 for 21, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. They had 18 rushes for 89 yards. Nickel leading the way, 16 rushes, 81 yards, 199 total yards for Oak Harbor in that first half. For Liberty Center, passing, Caden Kreinbrink, 5 of 10, 100 yards. Ethan Gray, 2 catches, 44 yards. Jackson Lonzak, 1 catch, 5. Gary Cruz, 2 catches for 52 yards. Rushing for Liberty Center, Thomas Muller, 5 carries, 40 yards. Garrison Cruz, 5 carries, 127 yards, 3 touchdowns. Baxter Barrett, 3 carries, 17 yards, touchdown. Tackles for Liberty Center, corners to the top of the list here. Isaiah Badenhop, 8. Ethan Gray, 6 tackles. Lonzak, 6. Gary Cruz, 9. Max Walker, 5. Isaac Orth with a touchdown on the punt that was over the head of the snap was over the head of the punter. Brady Badenhop with a nice play. Orth able to pick it up for the Tigers' 5th touchdown.
Yeah.
35-6 here.
Orth ought to be buying Brady Badenhop a pizza or something.
That's right. He set him up.
He got some love from that. So
I think you take a look at just some of the yards the first half. Oak Harbor had some 190 yards of offense. They had some success running the football. That last drive, passing attack looked pretty well, and they really spread it around, and Porath, I think, settled in. So, like what you see for Oak Harbor, finish off that first half.
They had some drives early, too, Jigs. They stalled out on a 4th and 2, and then a third down play on the first possession, too, where they had some nice-looking drives, just couldn't capitalize. So we'll see what happens here. They got a big score to stop that running clock. I believe Liberty gets the ball here to start the second half.
They do, yes.
Yeah, so this is a big drive for us. Oak Harbor, let's see what adjustments they made because they have not come close yet to stopping this Liberty Center offense.
The stats kind of tell the story. You saw Garrison Cruz pretty dominant in that first half, just not a lot of interest trying to tackle him when he gets to the secondary. 5 for 127. What's that, almost 25 yards a carry?
A little over.
With 3 touchdowns. So, Gary continues to be just a man running the football. And this offensive line, I think it looked really good in that first half.
They really came out strong. I was impressed. Like you said, we thought maybe it'd be a battle up front. And, Oak Harbor is playing hard, but our offensive line those first 2 or 3 series was impressive. Pretty dominating. I don't know if we expected that, but we'll take it for sure. And back to Gary Cruz. Gary, you let Gary get 5 yards downfield, full speed with his shoulders turned down.
Oof.
Good luck. Have fun. Better you than me type deal.
Well,
right?
that's just a guy, when you just look at his stature and his speed, and he doesn't always, when you turn the film on, you watch him out here and he's just pulling away. He doesn't maybe look that fast,
like it, no.
but he is. And he's 6'2", 220.
On his touchdown down here, Jigs, where he turned the corner, he was kind of gliding. There was kind of a little muddled up there with some defense, and he just hit another gear and exploded right through those 2
And if you're a corner, your safety, you're 150, 170 pounds.
Yeah.
Sometimes a guy's kneecap coming through, that's that big. Yeah. He's going to do some damage on your head.
You cannot let him get them shoulders square.
No, love the way Garrison Cruz runs the football, and I've liked our balance.
Yeah.
Only 5 of 10 in the pass game, 100 yards, Kreinbrink, but I think he's spreading around, throwing it pretty well. They're really protecting for him here tonight. He's able to have a clean pocket as well.
Thomas with a couple nice runs, too, averaging 8 yards a carry there, 5 for 40. He's hit that dive a couple times.
Yep.
Really good. All right, Oak Harbor to kick off here. Got number 36, Xavier Hess, 5'10" junior.
Okay, this could be about anything. It's a low line drive kick, bounces at the 20.
Oh,
it'll bang and bound around all the way down into the end zone, so the Tigers will take it touchback style out to the 20.
All All right, big
Boy, if
possession
you can kick
here.
a line drive like that, that can change a lot of things.
We talk about field position. Here we go. Oak Harbor with a good kickoff to start the second half.
Yeah, it's not that often. Liberty Center has
No.
to start at the 20 and in.
We haven't seen that.
We saw it a little bit against Archbold last week.
Yeah,
They had a good kicker.
And that game was a little tighter, right?
That's right.
All right, Tigers use a double wing package. Single setback is Moeller. Now motion this way.
There's another
Bob
one.
finally
Another one.
give
Good
it off
cut.
to Gary.
Look
Gary
out.
breaks
Look
front,
out.
Slips through the middle.
Look out.
And he's off to the races now. They
Uh-oh.
got two men there. He throws the straight arm. Now
Look at
cuts
him
to the
change the ball.
outside. Going for his
Wow.
ankle. Gary tiptoes through the tulips around him. Dances into the end zone. First play from scrimmage. 80-yard Tiger
Holy
touchdown.
smokes. He's like a Cape Buffalo just running
We just
free.
talked about it. Well, that takes that 25-yard average. Jim.
Holy smokes. Wow, this is what Gary Cruz could do. You get him in open spaces. Great initial block. I mean, he had a big hole. But when you get him in space, it's secondary. He is a real problem, and you cannot bring the guy down
No.
80 yards to the house.
That second level, and it didn't look like they were very interested there.
And
I don't
you,
blame him.
and you know what? We'll get to the. Go ahead, Spike.
All right. Good snap. Good hold. Kick is
Probably going to see that one again.
That was Max Perry on the kick.
I love the downfield blocking, but watch Gary when he switches hands too. Okay.
Can't keep up with him.
Oh, that guy's fast. Okay, right here. Switch his hands so we can use that stiff arm on number 6. I mean, that's a big league play.
Not even the referee wanted any part of that.
We talk about him in space, and a lot of it is that stiff arm. I mean, whether it's a right hand, left hand, he really uses it. Keep guys off his legs, off of his body. Oh, boy.
Watch
Look
it.
at this
He gets
view.
that second
That's
level
beautiful.
climber.
Ethan Gray, good block.
Yep. Like you said, he's
Get
just
off.
gliding.
Get
Gary
off.
Cruz
Didn't even get to the legs.
No.
Stiff arm.
averaged 10 yards or 10 carries a
Number
game
9,
is
Max
all.
Perry, kicking
There
off
are
for
running
Liberty
backs
Center.
in the area
Back to
who
return
ran
for
200
the
times,
Rockets, number 6.
225 times. Gary got 10 carries. No wonder he's like a caged animal, and he's busted out of jail.
Taking advantage of them carries, Spike. Gotta.
I'm trying to figure out, what to say. Like a deer, you get Cape Buffalo. I mean, what is he when he gets in the open spaces? He is just
Yeah, you can't.
he is just a beast to bring down.
All right, so Perry will kick off for Liberty Center, saving Walker for bigger and better things. Kick on the way. That'll come down short, taken there at the 15-yard line. Tries to cut
Light.
to the other side.
Light,
Nice
nice
play.
job.
With terrific coverage. Pow, wham, bam.
Senior, buddy, making a play. Good job, Braxton.
Well, you got to love that. Senior Braxton Light making plays on special teams when he gets time as a running back as well. That's a nice play there.
Yeah.
Braxton Light, pretty solid guy. Not real tall, but he's a $185, and buddy, that's about 2% fat, body fat. All right, so Tigers leading 42-6. Out of the gun, motion. Give straight ahead.
Mason
and
Smith.
Not much of any running room there at all. The Tigers defense just continues to stifle the rushing attack.
Mason Smith had a good night from that sniper position, kind of closing down those cutback lanes from that sniper position. We talked about how important that would be on those cutbacks. He closed the back door that time and was able to make that tackle.
Gabe Clapp took on a couple blocks there, free Mason up to make that play.
All right, straight drop. Has time, now finally gets rid of it on
Nice
a comeback
play.
route. Caught
Good
up there
tackle.
near the 35-yard line, and that should be enough. Let's wait for the spot. I'm not sure
About a
they're going to
yard
give him a real
short.
good spot at all.
Yep, about a yard
Wow.
short. Great job there by Isaiah to rally and make that tackle, bring up this 3rd and short.
You get
Yeah,
them
I
long,
thought he was up near the 35, but
Spike, you get them long plays. It's hard to stay in coverage that long. Good job
Yeah,
by Isaiah
yeah.
keeping them in front and making the tackle.
all right, tight formation. Quarterback's just going to keep
Not a
it.
quarterback. It's 13.
And
Yeah,
going for the
I think that's back up.
short yardage first
Brendan
down.
Bootson.
Yep, they're going to move it.
Yeah, Brennan Butts, they'll bring him in some of them short yardage plays. He's more of their running threat from the quarterback position that time, and able to get the first down there for Oak Harbor.
All right, wideouts to either side. Quarterback.
Baxter Barrett, nice
Wow.
job.
Baxter.
Yep, Baxter got him ankle style, slowed that down.
Yeah. Stuck the shoulder right
Tiger
in and
rush
went down.
defense.
Got the ankle.
Yeah, Blake Nickel, he's a good-looking running back, and he gets some space. Good job there by Baxter. And I think Jack Ward to kind of clean it up. Oak Harbor looks content to stay on the ground here, keep the playbook wide open.
Spread formation. Now
Going
throws
for
it
it here.
one-on-one coverage.
That's a
It's
great
lost
ball,
out there
Jigs.
and
Wow.
incomplete. Wow,
Good
that
coverage,
was close.
great
That ball
ball,
was
good
laid
all the way
right
around.
on the money.
Yeah.
Our corners have really done a great job on coverage. You know, we talked about Cammie and Grady from last year and how good they were, and these corners have really progressed throughout this year. They're playing some really good football.
Grady was able to use his length.
That's right.
His height, to help him make plays. We're doing it with the guys that are 5'9",
Yep.
and 5'10".
Ethan stride for stride there. Good coverage.
All right, the back to throw, rolls out.
Oh, great job.
As a
That
man
comeback.
there caught up around the 40-yard line on a comeback route.
Well, that's a
Tigers
generous
defended
spot.
it well
Ooh, yeah,
again.
it is.
I think
Wow.
they're- Oh, man.
Big time. They're calling a first down there?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ooh,
It looked like he was yard short. Great job by Ethan that time. He had two-man route. He had to come off his deeper route to come make a play there. Almost knocked that ball away. Oak Harbor probably going to continue to open it up here.
we've seen shades of this powerful Oak Harbor offense tonight, but they
Yep.
just haven't been able to put together a drive. But it's looked good at times.
It has. They've had some nice-looking plays. Weimer
Boy, that was a big hit there.
staying with the
Weimer
Kellen
with
Weimer.
a nice job of running that down from behind. Wow.
Cole Spangler in at linebacker now, too. Jack Ward. Get some guys some reps here.
And Jack Ward's a freshman,
Yeah.
and that's to have that confidence in him says a lot.
Well coached by James Whitmire in the 8th grade.
There it is.
Ready for this.
Not just James. It's
Well,
you
James,
too there. Come on now.
strictly James.
Second down and 6. Back to throw.
Oh, look out.
Little fling route and
Nice
boom.
hit,
Hit right
Baxter.
away. No
Baxter.
gain on the play. What a smashing hit.
Well, I'd like that for Baxter Barrett that time. You get an underneath coverage, really get your hat on the other side of the football, right? Yeah. Good play there by Baxter. Nice hit.
He gets to
We're going
the
to see that one again here on the
point of action
field.
in a
Yeah,
hurry.
well, his
Baxter's
instincts
quick.
are really good. Here we go. Sees that crossing route.
Drive
watch
it.
Develop, drive. Nice.
Boom. Get the head across. That's really important.
Third down and 4. Ball near the 50-yard line.
Screen.
Back to
Here's your
throw,
middle
and
screen.
there it
Jigs.
is. They've got
Look
it
at
set up.
there.
Good.
Ooh, what? It's in the VAR?
Now came back from behind to make the
Boy,
play.
that
a
was
great
set
play.
up, too.
Yeah, it looked like Navarre. I don't know if he had fallen down on that or what, but boy, he made a great recovery
Yeah,
to make
Navarre
that tackle.
came back to make the tackle.
That's a first down if he doesn't get there.
Fourth down and 1.
Here we go.
Boy, they had that set up so well,
Yep.
but the
We got
Tigers out.
13 in, Wildcat, just a power
Clinched
run. No,
And
did
No.
not.
tries to run the sneak.
sir.
He's not going to make
Do
it. The
not give
Tigers
that
stop
one.
him
Might have lost a
there.
yard.
Good stand, and the ball turned over to Liberty Center.
Man, oh man, that's tough sledding inside against Liberty Center. That is not a place where you can continuously go and win.
Yet they'll find those little sleeves.
Yeah.
And they'll break it for 5-6
Yeah.
yards. But sometimes, what makes that play work that way at times on defense? Is it the read by the linebackers? Is it how the defensive line slides down?
Yeah, it was just a great play there. The linebackers, that looks like we had the middle stuffed up a little bit, and they tried to go right to the strength of our defense.
All right, Crime Brink under center. Ring right set. They're going to give a dive straight
Big
ahead.
hole.
Running
Oh,
Rosetta
yeah.
straight out in the open.
There he
Now
goes.
a great cut to the outside.
Explosion. Nice.
And boom,
Breaks
slick
one.
back a tackle. Still running and churning. Now driving. Now it's a pylon. It's a scrum. Wow, what a scrum. It looked like rugby there for a while, but there was an extra 15 yards gained after the hit. Wow.
Like we talked about earlier, Thomas on them dives, that first 7 to 10 yards, so explosive. Then he got in the open field, looked good there.
Yeah, he did. Those dive is such a quick hitting, tough play, man. If it can be so effective, though.
You better be fearless running that ball.
That Thomas
too.
runs them as well as anybody.
All right, under center, now motion this way. Now they're going to
Inside
fake it, a little
Barrett.
bit of reverse to Barrett. Barrett cuts
cut
it
up.
back up inside.
Oh,
Uses his speed down
almost.
all the way to the 1 yard line. Oh, wow, a gain of 16 yards on the play.
You know, right-
Barrett again explodes through that middle.
Great play there by Baxter. Good run. I think Coach Linger back in the day would say you got to smell it.
Yeah.
Boy, he was just free. Look at this.
he
I like
got
that
tripped
view right
up.
there. Oh, just about a yard
He was
short.
reaching, too.
He was. Great run there by Baxter. Boy, he's looked good on them.
Yeah, he's
All right,
got
the
about
Tigers
4
come to
carries
the
for
line
about
of
30-some
scrimmage.
yards here.
Under center from the 1. Give.
Ty
Up
Jackson.
Ty
inside,
Jackson.
up and good. Touchdown, Liberty Center.
Well,
Ty Jackson, I believe the ball carrier there.
Yes, it was. Number 12.
48-6 Liberty.
Got to love that for Ty Jackson. That's a senior that's been playing good corner for us this year. When he gets time at running back, looks good. Got the touchdown here. This Liberty Center offense just keeps coming, don't they, Spike?
Yeah, it's-
Oh, unbelievable. How many yards do we have on offense by now?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's a lot of short fields. I think we had a total of – hold on here.
What'd you have at half there?
Kick is up by Perry, and it is good again.
Had about 270 in that first half there, Spike,
Wow.
but a lot of short fields.
Yeah.
We had an 80-yard run to start the third quarter there. That
Yeah.
put you,
Oh, yeah. We're going to
I'll bet total
Yeah.
plays they've got us by a bundle.
– yeah.
yeah.
Total plays.
Hey, let's give some score updates. I tell you what, one of the great games tonight, Fairview Paulding tied at 7 with 4 minutes left in the third. Triway 31, Fairview Warriors, not our Fairview, but Titans 7. Genoa 28, Port Clinton 7. Wheelersburg 26, Morgan Raiders 3. Cardinal Mooney 21, South Range 6. And Liberty Benton 38, Norway Bobcats 0, end of third.
Wow.
And the Blue Streaks are up big now, 30-6 over Seneca East.
What's the Napoleon score?
Yeah, Napoleon was getting handled, unfortunately.
Well, that Perkins team was
Yeah,
that's
we saw
a
them
that's a
in a
tough
scrimmage.
football. That's a tough football team.
Yeah.
Offense got players, big line.
Number the receiver was a nice.
17
Yes, he
nothing
was.
Perkins.
Okay. Maybe,
Oh, that was earlier score. We'll try to get you
All
an
right.
updated one.
Perry short.
That's trouble.
That's
This
going
might
to hit
be
right at the
trouble for
20-yard line,
Harbor.
bounce around, finally picked up. Tigers
man.
converge all over that.
Don't worry about
Excellent special teams coverage and tackled her around the 25-yard line.
Like
we will.
Orth.
Yeah, I believe Orth first one there. Then it was just a.
51. Jigs that a Flory, that Easton.
It is
Yep,
Big
Easton
E.
Flory.
Yeah, Easton Flory in on the play there too. Good to see Easton get in on that.
We will have a running clock now. I don't think we did. I guess we
had-
had one.
yeah,
we
we
had
had
that
one that
Yeah.
last, yep.
Okay. Sorry. The second half should go
Is
quick.
Going.
All right, out of the gun. Hand off.
Who's
They're going to
that?
stick with
Cole
what they do
Spangler, nice
best.
play.
But the Liberty Center Tigers, wow. Jakeway in the middle of that.
Cole Spangler.
Yeah, Cole
Yeah.
Spangler, you got to love it. You know, he plays a pretty good-looking linebacker there. Shot the gap.
Yeah.
Got to the legs, got him right to the ground. Good play there by Cole.
Cole did not get Hunter's size, as you can see out there. But Cole is a.
He doesn't know it.
No, he does not know it.
Good
Cole
call.
is a very tough kid. Very tough.
Back
Quick
throw,
hit, nice
caught,
tackle.
and hit right
Foster.
away.
Foster.
Brought down after a short gain. Very impressive.
Okay, I'm already getting asked if we're doing next week's game. Guys, we will do everything possible to bring you the live game. We will be here in our studio regardless, but we don't control that. And we'll do everything we can to bring you the live game. If not, it'll be either live audio and video delay. We don't know. Getting the playoffs, we're at the mercy of the OHSAA and their media relations people. So, all right, well, it's the end of 3 here. Liberty Center up big, 49-6. We'll be back after we hear from our sponsors.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
All right, we're back here. Start of the 4th quarter, and again, let me say to the people out there that are ringing my phone, stop ringing my phone. We'll have the game next week. It looks like we'll play Liberty Benton. It'll be a heck of a game, but we're not done with this one just yet.
All right, out of the gun. Now has to scramble left. A lot of pressure. Has to get rid of it. Caught up there beyond the 35-yard line. Under a lot of pressure.
Jack Ward that time kind of pushing the pocket there, Spike from his linebacker spot. Good-looking throw and catch, though, that time. I think they're going to get the first down.
Yep.
Like Brady Badenhop in on the play there.
Nice hit.
Brady can do that. He likes to hit. You'll see a lot of Brady Badenhop next year.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tigers show 5 men up on the defensive line, and they're going
big
to pound
hit
it
there.
right back at it. And Jack
Talent.
Ward again in on the play.
Talent.
Nice.
That was a big hit there that time.
Yeah.
And Ward to clean him up. You see some other linemen. You got 61 Parasini.
95 pounds already.
73. You got Levi Spade.
Brandon Berry.
52 in at the nose here.
Brandon Berry's a big young man.
Yeah, he is.
220-pound sophomore. All right, out of the gun, rolling right. Nobody open, still scrambling. Now fires way
Good
upfield.
play that time. Who was that?
Good timing by Baden.
Ooh, what are you? Oh,
very
boy.
late
What-
flag.
Wow, he couldn't even. He couldn't even
let's
really
see what he
see
calls
it.
here. There can't be interference.
No.
Oh, he
Oh boy.
is. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he couldn't see it
What?
from the back. He definitely.
And look
I
at
mean,
the
I
other
mean-
referees defended him.
yeah. I mean, boy,
Let's watch that
I think he
again.
met the ball there that time. That was a good play by Brady. He really drove on that football.
Yeah, we don't. We'll
We'll
Here we
see
go.
here.
Let's see it. I like this replay, guys. Sidelines.
Look at Brady. Oh, that's
Boy,
a
that's a great play. That's a good play.
Yeah,
great play.
yeah.
Yeah, the ref from the back, I don't know if he could really see that.
No,
He didn't have the best
it was
angle
late.
for it.
It looked like he could get his flag
I
out.
did
too.
like the defense that this referee on the sideline played. Like, hey, okay, I know it. Come on, you're winning 49-6.
All right, Oak Harbor with the ball beyond midfield now. Handoff straight ahead.
Oh,
Found
nice.
running room there. Nose diving from the safety position.
Mason Talent.
Murdoch cleaning him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tatum Murdoch, he'll come downhill. That's a guy that's going to strike you.
Tatum Jack Murdoch.
Yeah, Billy,
Yeah.
Jack Tatum Murdoch.
Billy Kruger checking in. Easton Flory, Levi Howe, 24. I'm sorry. 24.
Naraki.
Naraki, okay. Cole
Trumbull.
Schultz, Trumbull. A couple seniors going to get some time
Oh, yeah.
here.
Yeah, this has been a strength of Liberty Center. There's just the number of we talk about that in broadcasting. You just need reps. And that boy, football, same thing. Get reps.
Young guy's getting a lot of
All
snaps.
right, give right up the middle. Tigers swarm all over that.
Yeah.
Nice play there.
73, that's Brandon Berry.
That'll
Nice.
bring up third and short
Billy Kruger
yardage.
in on that, too.
Mm-hmm. 64, is that Coco?
That's Colton Weimer. Yeah.
Colton Weimer
Getting
coming
some
in,
action.
young freshman.
Yeah.
Colton playing linebacker? Yeah, okay. Him and Easton, you got the cousin duo out there. Zabo at a sniper.
Yeah, 27. Yep.
Now quarterback just going to keep it on.
No.
And I don't think he made it. I think he came up short again.
Somebody came flying. Is that
That was at 13 quarterback.
53? Parker Trumbull on the play
Nice.
there. Nice, Parker. Trey Flory coming in.
Big Trey.
All right. So Oak Harbor going to go for it. Absolutely. 4th and less than a yard to go. And twists and spins.
I don't think he
and
got it. I don't think he got
it.
it.
Depends on
This guy
that
might be
forward
giving it.
progress.
No,
he
he's
may have
short.
been close to
He's
it
a
at
yard
one
short.
time. I don't think he made it, and I think Liberty Center stopped him again.
The near side judge here has
Yep.
about a half yard short.
Yeah, he's got him marked.
Yeah.
And the Tigers do stop him. Excellent job.
That Colton Weimer.
Yeah, you're going to see Max Perry come out of quarterback here, number 9.
Talon at a guard. Cole Spangler coming in running back. Billy Kruger at a guard. I think I saw Trey go in center maybe here.
Where's Weimer play on offense?
He's a guard.
Is he? Okay.
He just came out.
Murdoch is coming from the sidelines late.
Murdoch's running a trick play here.
They almost didn't guard him.
Yeah.
No
Fade him up.
Timeout.
Fade him up.
Like I said, we will do everything we can. Again, I know people are excited and they love Tiger football, but texting me and asking me what we're going to do next week,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I can tell you we're going to be standing here in the booth one way or another, guys.
Well, I'm just going to tell everybody at home I've watched a little bit of Liberty Benton film, and they're the real deal.
Yeah.
You're not even going to be here next week.
They are the real. I know.
That's why he's
I know.
previewing now.
That's why.
I am just warning everyone. They are the real deal.
Yeah.
They can really go on offense. They got a big line. And
Well, they got a
they're
chip
gonna
on their
be-
shoulder.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
they went undefeated in the season and
Yeah,
got
that's
ranked
right.
pretty low. They
That's
thought.
right. Well, they're gonna be a team to be reckoned with. I'm telling you.
A nice game.
All right, Tigers have 1st and 10 now. Wing left set. Give to the second back, trying to
got
pick his
going
way
there?
through and
Todd.
around. Takes on 2 tacklers and bangs up to the 45-yard line.
That
Gain
light-
is 7.
Braxton.
Light on the run that time. Nice first down run that time.
6-7 yards.
And I say, Jesse, myself, and Spike will be here for sure.
Yeah, well,
You're going to be
yeah.
out of town.
I am. Yeah,
All
it's
right,
gonna be a
under
tough one to
center.
miss.
Give to the fake right up the middle, and that
over that one.
battling back, got back to the line of scrimmage, but what an effort that took. He was caught 2 yards deep.
Brody
Jake
Jakeway.
Way. So 3rd down and 3 for Liberty. Just under 6 minutes left.
That Ty Jackson at fullback now? Is that what
Tigers
think
double
so.
wing package. Motion
Spangler.
coming back this way. Give to that motion back. Following blockers. Hold
Good run there.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
grabbing and bounding.
Like that.
Paddling. He carried
Who was that with the
guys
Badenhop with
8
the
yards.
with
Wow.
an absolute pancake there at the end? Whoa.
Wow.
That guy's
Easton
playing hard.
Flory
Oh,
and,
Brady, yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Jesse, I think you're right. Brady Badenhop's just a
you're
name and a number
Yeah,
to watch
listen, guys,
next year.
That's a junior that's had to wait his turn till next year when he's a senior. You
that's
see him
right.
on all the special teams. You'll see him next year on offense and some defense
Uh-huh.
somewhere.
All right, wing right set. Give to the second back.
Oh,
Cuts
Silva.
it back
Look
up
at
behind
this.
a
Go,
great
Drew.
block.
Look at this.
Cuts it
Get
back
up,
to the
Drew.
middle. Now another great block.
Nice
from
block
behind.
there.
And down to the
Nice.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like
That's a Liberty
it.
Center Tiger touchdown. Wow. 40 yards away.
How about Drew Silvis?
Yeah.
Nice little hole there and a good cut.
Yeah.
Murdoch with a little bit of a shield block there late to spring him.
Jigs,
for
I don't
6.
know. I'm not sure I ever seen Brett run that fast.
Oh no, he's faster than Brett.
Already.
Now Kurt maybe not, but he's definitely
He's
faster than
getting
Brett.
closer to Curdy there. Though.
Yeah.
Curtis Robert pretty quick in his day.
Oh, boy, that's a good looking run. I've talked about the sophomore backfield. I like it. Jakeway, Silvas, Spangler. It's good players coming.
Low snap, good handle there.
Perry just
Kick is
boomed
up
it.
by Perry and
Max has
good.
got a leg.
56-6 now with 4:10 left in the game.
Spike, I think that one went into Treva's backyard too.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a pool there at one time? Did that fall into the pool that time?
That could
Might have went over the house on a 109.
Yeah,
There's people parked out there on 109. You got to watch that. Go out there, your windshield's shattered.
That's right.
Who knows? Maybe
You know,
Spike
it
fell
wasn't
in the pool.
exactly
I
the
don't know.
same thing, but the old Green Bay Packers student body left, student body right.
Yeah.
Or USC, known for the same thing years ago. That's what we saw right there. Excellent blocking. The execution, perfect. Wow.
Silva's had a little jolt there. He looked quick.
Yeah, he
Wow.
did. Yeah, he did.
He cut back behind that little fence they set up with the lead blocks, with the guard pulling over there, and bang to town. Then
Hey,
Silvas put on a
You know,
few extra moves.
stay with us. The Swan Welding post-game show, we got to pick a man of steel.
Ooh, boy, we better bring that
Uh-oh.
list up. I got a few names.
You better start thinking.
Yeah, I do. I got
I
to
got
start
one,
thinking.
I think. Well, there's a lot.
I was going to say,
There's a
it
lot.
could be everybody every week, Jesse.
We got the list.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, good. I need to double check the list.
Who was the Archibald? Thomas Moeller.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Cole's got to update the list. No campaigning. You can't take your headset off, but get it. You guys are cheating.
Campaign train.
Kick
Well,
it
campaign
down.
secrets here.
And they're going to,
Call a fair catch.
yeah, I guess.
they're gonna call it a
Everything
night is
just
what they're
kinda
gonna do.
Died out there.
Yeah, stay with us. The Swanton Welding post-game show. We'll have stats for you. And,
See everybody next week.
and
All right, see
we'll
you,
have the
Pam.
man of steel. Jig's going to go up and grab the stats here. Spike, you're only allowed 4 names.
Oh, on a night
Spike
like
can give a
this.
shirt to everybody. You get a shirt, and you get a shirt.
Well, I will
On a
too.
night
I ain't
like
paying
you-
for
this,
them.
you
What's the
can.
matter?
Well, you are. Your contract just got renewed
Did
at
it?
$0.
Gotcha.
All right, out of the gun, they're going to give it off that side.
Brandon
Tries to
Berry,
make a cut
nice
to the
play.
outside, but the Liberty Center Tiger off defensive line, having nothing to do with that. They react well and stop it for a yard loss. 2.5 minutes to go here. 56-6. Liberty Center jumped out to a 28-0 lead at the end of one quarter and just haven't stopped.
Spike, Isaiah Brandenberry there. He's kind of showing up here at the end of the game.
Yes, he's looked fine.
Yeah, made some nice plays here. Big kid. Big kid.
Now give around the outside.
Nice tackle out there. Who's that? That's Hayden
Running
Dotson,
room.
17.
Picks up
looks
7.
like.
And there's the Liberty platoon going in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, you got to give it to Oak Harbor. A great season for them.
Yeah.
Came back and avenged the loss against Eastwood
Yeah.
last week, and that was big for them. You know, the coach over there, I think it's Coach May?
Coach May, yes.
May. Yeah, with a great program.
Mike May, yep.
And you're going to see some things from Oak Harbor. They've been a very consistent
yeah.
powerhouse team and had a great season.
Don't be surprised. You're back in D5. You see them again next year. It's like Jiggs had said on the podcast, this is a program now. It's not just, a couple players. They have,
Yeah.
look at Brady Bainhop here.
Wow.
Still hitting pretty hard out
Making
there.
a
isn't he?
man's tackle.
Yeah, Brady's a very good tackler. No, going back to Oak Harbor, they got some young players here, and they develop well, similar to what we do over here. They develop their players. you know, they lose kids and you think, oh man, but nope, here they are again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody thought when they lost that dynamic quarterback that they had the last 2 years that, okay, well, you know.
Michael Lewan.
Yeah, Lewan was a dynamic
Boy,
quarterback.
he was a good player.
Well, and Coach May is kind of one of those coaches you watch, just coaches to what he has.
Yeah, he's
all
a
right,
good coach.
Direct snap all the way back.
Look at
Still
this.
advancing,
Yeah. Right.
pouncing, and diving. Picks up 7.
I don't know if they're going to run another play here. You got 28 seconds.
Yeah, I believe they'll get another one off.
Okay.
Maybe not.
No, they're
Maybe they.
Nope.
No.
They're lining up.
Yeah.
All right, the clock running out here. Liberty Center opening the game up in high gear, leading 28-0 at the quarter, and now pull away to win this thing 56-6 in the second round of the Division V Northwest Ohio playoffs.
Yeah, Spike, pretty impressive showing here tonight for the Tigers. I thought they came out right from the get-go, ready to go. Offensively, man, they looked really good.
That was as sharp as I've seen them look ever in a day.
Yeah,
Gee.
Give Oak Harbor some credit there early. They had some big gash plays for us, just couldn't quite, sustain anything to keep it going.
Yeah, they started throwing the ball downfield, and we reacted well. Our coverage was tremendous all night long.
DB's getting better every week, and I feel like our tackling from that position is getting better every week, too. They catch a ball, they're tackled.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right, well, we're going to take a short break here to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the Swanton Welding post-game show and the Man of Steel Award. Liberty Center big tonight, 56-6 over the Oak Harbor Rockets, and we'll be back right after this break.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Tiger Sports Live for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of Tiger Sports Live is prohibited.
Hey, it's the Swanton Welding post-game show here on Tiger Sports Live. Once again, Liberty Center, a resounding, a scintillating, as Spike would say, 56-6 victory over the Oak Harbor Rockets. And again, Oak Harbor, a great season. I think they took the league. They avenged the loss against Eastwood.
Yes.
Great season. They'll be back next year, I'm sure. Jigs, you want to talk a little bit about stats before we talk about the Man of Steel?
Yeah, let's talk about Oak Harbor's, just a little bit of their offense here tonight. 271 total yards, 152 passing yards, 131 rushing yards. Getting to Liberty Center, Caden Kreinbrink finished for 5 of 10, 100 yards. Carries, Thomas Moeller, 5 for 40 yards. Garrison Cruz, 6 for 207, 4 touchdowns. Baxter Barrett, 4 carries, 32 yards, touchdown. I'm sorry, Thomas had six carries for 72 yards. Silvas, 1 carry, 40 yards, touchdown. Ty Jackson, touchdown. Cole Spangler, touchdown. Rushing for Liberty Center, 376 rushing yards. It was dominant.
Baxter Barrett have?
Baxter had 4 carries, 32 yards, and a touch. 100 yards passing for a total of 476 yards for Liberty Center on offense. Tackles, Badenhop, 9. Ethan Gray, 8. Lonazak, 9. Gary Cruz, 10. Max Walker, 5. Mason Smith with 6. And Isaac Orth on the touchdown from the Brady Badenhop hit. And that's going to kind of conclude a little bit of the stats there. I think you saw the dominant force
6
on
for
the run game.
207. Jesse
Yeah,
said,
that's not bad.
35, yeah.
Just about 35.
Just about
Wow.
35
Whoa.
yards a carry.
Yeah, 376 for the Tigers on the ground, 100 in the pass for 476 yards. So, Liberty Center, I thought, came out right away in this game, ready to go, hitting on all facets. We talked about having all three, right? Special teams, offense, defense. That we had a few, drops and different things of the snaps tonight. I think that's the only thing you could look to say, let's get cleaned up. But other than that, clean game, played well, turned turnovers into points like they've been doing all year.
You can figure out, Oak Harbor had a couple nice gash runs to figure out what happened there, who missed what. But give them some credit. They came out in that first drive, had the ball at the 5, and got 2 first downs, 2 or 3 first downs, and just Oak Harbor you can't. It's hard to sustain a drive against this Liberty Center defense.
Yep.
You got to hit a big play, which next week they have guys that can hit a big play.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get into the Steely Dan here, the man of steel.
The Steely
We
Dan.
ready to get into it?
Man of Steel, Swanton Welding. Thank you for that sponsorship for the post game. And let's get into it. Man, this is Jesse's first week in the booth, but fantastic job, Jess. Thank you for contributing.
Yeah.
But, we could give it to everybody every night.
Yeah, Gary averaged 35 yards a carry tonight. So you could probably end it there if you wanted.
Every time he runs the ball for more than 10 yards, he shows you 3 brand new types of moves. It just goes on.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
got those same
everlasting.
moves, Spike. Usually I'm so, but you talk about the Man of Steel, and again, I get asked this a lot, so I say this all the time. We get this. The steel is the foundation that holds the pretty buildings up. So when we talk about Man of Steel, we're not necessarily talking about, even though we can talk about Gary Cruz every day,
Yep.
but Gary Cruz can run for 200 and some yards because there's a lot of steel beams holding that pretty building up. So I'm going to throw out a couple names, and I think Badenhop had a great game tonight. He had a lot of tackles. Isaiah Badenhop.
Yes.
Brady Badenhop.
Brady did.
I
Brady
guess you
had a
could pick
good-
either one.
Yeah, he did.
had some
But
nice
Isaiah,
He really did.
But
Yeah.
Isaiah Badenhop, last week he got tested.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, he responded.
Yeah.
Tonight, man, right early on they threw that play, and Jigs, you being that defensive back, that quarterback type guy, you saw that the great play he made to break up, watch the hands, did that, made a lot of tackles. You don't always want your corners making tackles, but he responded when he needed to. I think he had a great game. But, and Jesse, and we've talked about it a little bit off air, the guards tonight.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Guards look good.
Henry and Max are putting on a clinic tonight,
I mean, Max Walker, you could make him a highlight film every single
right.
game. I mean, for the kicker to come down and just smashing people.
And smashed him to boot.
Yes.
He was
That was-
full water boy, Bobby Boucher.
But yeah, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
That's some high quality H2O.
That's what he had some before the game.
But then Henry Fitzenreiter, too. So,
Yeah.
I think Liberty's defense, you can always talk about Dippy in the middle, just plugging everything up. I think Oak Harbor was a very dominant run team. Really, just they went away from it, which was interesting.
Too early. We scored 7,
Yeah.
and they just kind of started chucking it down the middle, which, we didn't see coming, but we'll take it, I guess.
So my two guys are going to be Isaiah Badenhop and Henry Fitzenreiter.
Okay. I'll go next. I love the offensive line play across the board tonight. It was just a dominant forward. We just had big holes all night long. Love the guard play. Max Walker, we talked about him. Guard, kicking game, defense from his linebacker spot. Just such a vital piece to the puzzle here for Liberty Center. Fitzenreiter, stepping in for Schweigert. I thought he had a great night. He was really leading a lot of these pulling guard plays up and leading the way. He was very active. Henry had a good night. I thought Baxter Barrett had a good night from the running back position.
I was going to say, too. Baxter, and defensively had a couple nice tackles, too.
Yes, he did. And Baxter's a guy that he's that third option, right?
Yeah.
You got to have him. There's going to be games where the fullback, the halfback may not be happening, and you get that wingback coming around. You got to have Baxter ready to go. He had a good night running the football, and I like the corners. I thought they played well tonight.
Gray had a good
Gray had a great game.
game.
I mean, Ethan had a big pick, and just the way he catches the football in offense too. I really like Ethan Gray. So I'll give you those 3 names.
Yeah, I was going
4.
Henry and Max, too, and then Baxter popped up also in my mind. I don't know. As the first-time guy, I don't know how you guys ever pick one.
Well, it's hard. That's why Spike picks 17.
I was told not to encourage Spike to pick more than one. I was already warned Spike might pick 16. They don't have enough T-shirts for that.
Yeah, and do not encourage him.
Yes. Hey, I'm going Henry Fitzenreiter. Sophomore, first start, playoff game. And if you watched Henry tonight, he was some of the kickouts and leading up through. I mean, he was really good. And Isaiah Batenhop was, 2 sophomores there.
Yep.
Sophomores. Those are my 2 probably. I'm with you on that. Don't ask me to pick one. I don't know. We'll leave that to the leader.
Day in, week in and week out, you could pick Gary. We mentioned that. Walker's name was mentioned, how you could go with him a lot. To me, Max Walker is the heart and soul of this team. The guy, if you look at him, I don't care what sport it is he really a great athlete? I don't know if he's a great athlete, but you talk about a performer, a competitor, and a battler, the heart and soul of this team. A lot of cases were made for Badenhop. I get that. Great job. Henry Fitzenreiter, super attitude for a sophomore. He understands what it is to be nitty-gritty and yet humble at the same time. I love all these guys. But my pick's going to go to Max Walker because that guy makes any team go. Even in basketball, where he's not a basketball player, but when he's on the floor, he's a plus minutes. Everybody just gravitates around him. They follow him. And to me, that is the steal guy. Max Walker is what Kip Kern was, what people were 50, 70, 80 years ago. That's what Liberty Center's football is all about. I don't want to necessarily go back to a guy we've had before, but Max Walker's the heart and soul.
Back like when the lady lived over there in her
Treva,
football.
Treva Stevens.
yeah.
Circa 1964.
All right, Jigs, who do you got?
I gave you mine.
Was I not paying attention?
Well, maybe not.
I was putting equipment away. I'm sorry.
Well, I was told before this that we try not to do repeats, so I'm going to go with Spike for allowed to repeat. Max was the clear choice to me, just from his kickoff tackles.
Yeah,
I'm good.
That was enough for
good.
me.
I'm good with that.
And he was all over the place defensively,
Okay.
Offensively.
I'm going to pull a Spike.
Uh-oh.
I think we're going to go Co.
Okay.
I think Max Walker certainly deserves it, but I think for many reasons, Henry Fitzenreiter was
Give
a
it to
man
your
of
guards.
steel tonight.
Give it to the
The
guards.
I mean, you talk about first start, filling in for Degenschwager, not an easy task, just that alone.
Correct.
Playoff game, Southmore, first start.
Yeah.
Man of steel.
I like that.
So we're going to go with Henry Fitzenreiter and Mad Max Walker, the men of steel tonight.
my
I know
God.
I'm standing too close to Spike. I should have stood over there by Jesse.
Hey, one time in the booth, and I'm getting my guards some Man of Steel work.
There you go. That's
You
look at
know,
me.
there it is.
All about love. So there you go. Max Walker and Henry Fitzenreiter are men of steel. Swanton Welding, our post-game sponsor. I appreciate them. And they'll get their T-shirts. I'm not sure Max. Maybe I'll give Max a sticker
There
to
you
put
go.
on his T-shirt already.
Sweatshirt or something.
Yeah, sweatshirt or
There
something.
you
We'll give
go.
Max something different. But he might get a Tiger Sports Live shirt.
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
there you go. We'll give Max a Tiger Sport Live
yeah.
shirt, and Henry Fitzenreiter will get his Man of Steel shirt probably tomorrow when they're watching film. So, all right. Well, Liberty Center once again a big win tonight here in round 2 of the playoffs, and it will be the Liberty Bowl. Liberty Benton Eagles will come to town to take on our Liberty Center Tigers next week. And guys, again, I won't know for sure until probably about Wednesday of whether we're going to get bumped. But I just, with Findlay being such a big market, it just, my spidey sense says we're probably going to get bumped. And what that means is it could be that we are going to be on delay, period. It could mean that we will be able to do live audio with video delay. But I'm going to tell you what, folks. Spike and I have been standing here for about 21 years. We're going to be standing here next Friday in this booth. One way or another, we'll get the game to you. So, Spike, go ahead and take us out of here, and it's time to go home.
All right. In Rex Lindgren Stadium on Kip Kern Field tonight, the Liberty Center Tigers won their first playoff game in the second round, 56-6 over the Oak Harbor Rockets. Oh, man. Never mind me. Anyway, love the Man of Steel Awards. We got to get 2 in there tonight. It doesn't get any better. But next week, this Liberty Benton game, this is going to be state final credentials. This is going to be big. I can't wait. We'll bring you here. Shout out to Jesse for filling in. Stupendous job on Jesse's part. And Jigs, of course, always tough. So with that, everybody, it's good night and good Tiger Sports.